yo, what's up out there?
Ice Cube. I mean, I see.
That is not good.
Get ready to experience the thrill of a lifetime.
If you somehow find this offensive, just don't listen. But my guess is you'll be sticking around.
Let's do this.
It's going down. Jack.
Hey, it's Larry King welcoming you to the Opie and Anthony show right here on Sirius XM satellite radio.
Oh, this is good radio right here.
Y'all are cooler than shit.
It starts funny and then gets very uncomfortable.
One of the most popular radio shows in the world.
Radio journalism at its best.
Hello, kids. It's the Opie and Anthony show. They swear and they're vulgar and they talk about awful, awful things. That's what you like, isn't it?
Very flavorful.
Yay. That's what you like, isn't it?
Please welcome Opie. The show is twisted, I'm telling you. We're enjoying this shit.
That's what you like, isn't it?
Anthony.
I want dick prizes. I love when girls go through that. I'm here for you, ladies. Remember that.
That's what you like, isn't it?
And Jim Norton.
If a pussy could talk, it would say, die.
That's what you like, isn't it?
Everything you are about to hear is real.
My nipples are kind of hard.
Good morning. Welcome aboard.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Good morning, everybody. I hate saying good morning. It sounds so stupid.
I know, but what else are you going to say?
Welcome aboard.
Welcome
that's a good
aboard.
one.
There you go.
The fun train is leaving. Howdy.
How are you?
How are ya?
How are ya? We haven't heard from them since their big return, huh?
Thank God.
They're dead.
The
She
last
was
thing
calling
I-
before the show started.
What?
Oh, she did.
Marianne was calling before the show started.
Jesus.
Today?
Yeah, she has a problem with the twerk video.
Oh, no.
Because we made her say the N-word.
And she said,
I got an outtake where she's like,
I'm not going to say that. You say that. You can get away with saying that. I can't say that.
I bet you that's what it is.
but
But
it
then
was
she
nigga,
said it.
wasn't it? Nigga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the
And
twerking
Kid was
video.
there, and he's like fucking cool with it.
World Star Hip Hop loves the twerking video.
Yeah.
I mean, they've moved on to other shit by now,
It's-
but
yeah.
it made the front page. And just like when the Chip video made the front page, the comments are
They're hilarious.
hilarious. But she has a problem with that.
Yeah, from what I'm told, apparently she said black people have seen it and that she knows and are not happy with her saying the N-word.
What?
Oh, God, I can't get her fired. That would be horrible.
Oh, my God.
I think she's a janitor or something.
Oh.
She won't tell me for real what she is.
Wouldn't it be funny if she's a CEO?
Yeah.
She was some kind of a genius CEO, financial wizard. She's the fucking vice president of Chase Citibank.
Let's get her on the phone and talk this out because, I mean, DJ Who Kid was there. You know, he's a black guy, and he gave her
cool with
permission
it.
to say it.
Could you imagine the type of person, though, that would be mad at her saying that in a video like that?
Right.
Like, how does it get to that point?
If you don't know, after their appearance, I had the idea of making a twerking video, and I asked DJ Who Kid to help me because I don't really know how to make a twerking video. And he was all in. He was very excited.
He was making it rain around him.
Yeah, but then another part of the video that people really love is the fact that he picked up all his rain.
He picked up his rain.
You can't pick up rain. It's impossible. Oh, but DJ Who Kid did.
Oh, he picked up his rain.
He picked up his rain. He made it rain as these two monsters were twerking.
What does that mean, made it rain?
Throwing the money around.
Take the money and just throw it out.
Throw it
Yeah,
around like you just don't care.
Making it rain.
So the video came out great.
It's great.
Thanks to
It's hilarious.
Traquan and his participation. It was
it's a good one.
It's one of the better ones.
It's up on the Facebook.
Oh, Opie and Anthony on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get Marianne on to see what the problem is.
Oh,
I had a feeling she would have a problem with that, but in the end, she said it. Troy Kwan kept egging her on, like, "Come on, you gotta say it. You gotta say it." Maybe I'll put the outtake up on my YouTube page because it is funny. Because she's telling DJ Who Kid, "You can say that, but I can't say it. I can't say that word."
Oh God!
And everybody knows in that context what you're doing, and
that's the world we live in, though.
Right.
So many people are so afraid that it doesn't even matter the context anymore. It's so weird.
I've decided I don't really like saying the word, believe it or not.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, yeah, there's no reason to just blurt it out.
I want the freedom to say it, but I just feel weird saying it.
In certain contexts, especially if, as a broadcaster, if you're talking about a story where it's pertinent or
baseball
like
player,
right?
Made an error.
There's plenty of circumstances where it is. I mean, this whole "it's off limits" thing is pretty silly,
right?
If you think about it,
really. Oh man. I was looking at places yesterday, and it turns out I was looking at places with a guy that's like a TV star.
Ooh.
But you're married.
What?
Yeah, I think Jimmy was assuming you and a man were looking for a house
together.
Oh. He's like he's on one of those real estate shows for Bravo. My realtor just, he goes to me, hey man, I might have a place you might like, because, it's no secret. I got 2 kids and I'm fucking running out of room. Fuck.
Quickly running out of room over there? Jeez.
I'm lucky. I got more space than most people in Manhattan, but when you come from a house in the suburbs, that's, and everyone always, when they come over to my place, like, well, you got a lot of room here. I'm like, not when you think about what you could get with a house.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you got a lot of space here. Really? The clutter is pretty much growing like mold at this point.
You have a lot of space
taking over.
For 500 feet in the air, you have a lot of space.
Right.
For a regular house.
Right. I have no backyard. I have no outdoor space whatsoever. I have nowhere to put my things. Manhattan, for some reason, they've decided, like, I have a 4-bedroom technically, but I took down a wall to make my living room bigger, blah, blah, blah. But every room in Manhattan, I don't know why and who decided this, needs a bathroom. You don't have that in the suburbs. You get a big, huge house. If you have 2 bathrooms, basically, that's really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with, I think, 2 bathrooms, and we had 6 rooms, I think. I'd have to count real fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 rooms, 2 bathrooms. And that was fine for everybody. But in Manhattan, every room has to have a bathroom. I don't get that. So most people turn one of their bathrooms into their storage space.
Yeah.
And I've certainly done that.
Is that so you could rent it to a few people at once, too? So like 3 to 4 different people could live there and have their own bathroom?
I don't understand the logic of, you don't get a lot of space to begin with when you live in Manhattan, and then they take up some of the space with a million bathrooms. Yeah. I got 4 bathrooms in my apartment.
I got 7.
Yeah, but you have a huge house. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. No.
Your square footage blows mine away.
What are you looking at, houses or apartments?
I'm just kind of trying to figure it all out.
I think stay in the city?
I don't. I want a big fucking house in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Make the leap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, do that. Maybe Jersey.
Yeah. So 4 bathrooms in a 4-bedroom apartment. That's crazy. It's dumb.
You definitely could do it. 2 bathrooms
easily.
Yeah,
especially in my dumb world. People, aren't hoity-toity and pretentious. They don't give a fuck.
I do like taking a good dump in a bathroom I haven't been in like a year.
Really?
It's nice. You go in there, you're like, oh, look at this.
You have 7
I'm just going to take a dump in here. I haven't even been in this bathroom.
You have 7 bathrooms.
7 bathrooms. It's crazy.
Why?
I don't know.
That's a little weird.
I understand.
I mean, you got a big house, obviously.
You know what it is? I had to put one downstairs.
Yeah, of course.
So that added another
one.
For
the poker people.
And I had to put one out in the cabana.
For the swim people.
For the swimmy people.
The swimmy swims.
Yeah, so, that added 2. And then there's 5 bathrooms in the, rest of the house.
How many bathrooms you got, Jimmy?
1.5.
Oh.
My full bath, that's from my master bedroom, and then a half bath when you first walk in.
So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Take a dump.
That would be, you can't flush.
That would be pretty much all I would need, too. And then I would have more space, is what. Maybe I should. But then if I take. Why are we talking about this? No one cares.
It's resale, too.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But no one cares about that. But maybe they do in a weird way. Because in Manhattan, if you take out your bathrooms to make your rooms bigger, then you can't resell your place because people need a bathroom for every room. It's the logic is fucked up in Manhattan.
But you can't have more than one kitchen. There's something to do with a 1-person or a 1-family dwelling.
Oh, right.
Unless it's like a Jewish or Orthodox kitchen.
Right.
That you can't have more than one kitchen because that implies another family's living there. It's some weird fucking rule.
So it was just a casual thing. Like my realtor goes, I have a place I want you to see that's a little bigger, and then this guy's there, and then I bring the paperwork home to my wife because she was busy. She couldn't make the appointment, and she goes, this guy's an actor. I'm like, what? And he's on Bravo's Million. I just said it. What was it?
$1 million listings.
$1 million listings. He's a big star in Bravo.
A big star.
And then he tweeted right away. I'm like, man, this was supposed to be a casual thing. I don't even know if I'm going to move officially. But he tweeted that
next time there'll be cameras.
What happened? What happened?
Sam loves getting new information, so he's laughing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he turned out, and his name's Ryan Serhant, and he's
Serhant.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, he doesn't care how many bathrooms as long as there's a big kitchen.
New York City-based real estate agent and star of Bravo's $1 million listing, New York. So then now it turned out to be a thing now, when it was just a casual, like, I'm just going to look at this place.
Yeah.
And it turns out he's a fan from the old days. He used to listen to us at AF.
Ooh.
So, yeah, and he was really nice, so whatever. But, I don't know. I got to figure it all out.
So what, next time he comes, you're going to meet him, there's going to be like a camera crew there?
No, fuck that.
Hey, here it is.
No.
No. Isn't that, I think it is when like they show the couples walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of need some space here.
And then there's drama. They got to figure out the drama part.
They got to make some produced drama.
Right.
I know
between the couple.
The drama would be you going, I don't know if we need this many bathrooms, and your wife going, but why not? But I like an extra bathroom.
And the host like looking over like, oh boy, this is a biggie.
Right.
Oh boy.
It's a big decision.
I actually saw I think it was the California version of the show. It was kind of cool because you get to check out, cool homes, and there is weird, dumb drama.
There's always dumb drama. They got to do that with
Well, the
reality.
client's coming from Europe, and and he's blind, meaning we don't see him personally. They're sending their assistant to check out the home.
This home has got to be ready.
We're thinking it might be Ozzy Osbourne, but we're not really sure. Shut up. We lost Marianne again.
Hanging up.
I was just stalling. Why is she hanging up now?
Because she's pissed off.
Why is she pissed off?
Why is she pissed?
She won't come on the air now about it.
I was filming. What did she think I was doing?
Try now.
Hi, Marianne.
Hold on, I'm gonna get her. Marianne, what's wrong?
Marianne,
she went to work.
Oh, hey, what's up, man? Joe.
Opie and Anthony.
Joe, right?
How you doing, man?
Haven't talked to you in years.
Yeah.
How are you, buddy?
All right.
You're on the air, by the way.
Yeah.
Is Marianne pissed?
Yeah.
She's part of a viral video.
Yeah, I know, but well, I gotta leave and go to work too. So.
Why?
We're trying to hash this out.
I know. Trying to hash it out.
Oh, she's still there.
Put her on the.
Just left.
Put her on the phone.
You were just talking to her.
Just left. Just left.
No wonder they get along so well for so many years married.
Wow, you guys just lied together.
Yeah.
She just left.
Then who were you just talking to?
I was talking to somebody else.
Oh.
Who's the somebody else?
One of my friends is here. He's picking me up for work.
Oh.
All right, well.
What is Marianne's problem?
Yeah, why
Can you
is she
tell us
mad?
real fast? She looks great in the video.
Yeah, she's having fun.
She's all in.
Yeah. I don't know.
She didn't tell you?
No, huh?
No, not really.
Joe, we love you, brother. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, but I wasn't too appreciative of the video myself.
Oh, no, why?
Why?
Because of the language on there.
Oh, yeah, but DJ Who Kid gave her a pass. He gave her one of those black passes.
Other people might not.
Huh?
Other people probably might not like it.
Well, it's in context, She's just dancing around.
Yeah,
doing
well, what she said.
Look at DJ Who Kid, man. He's moving right in there.
In all honesty, Joe.
I got to run. This guy's waiting for me.
All right. I thought it was a girl.
Yeah.
You didn't say it was a girl.
They just changed gender.
All right, Joe.
He folded under questioning.
So I got to go.
All right, Joe.
All right, Joe.
Take it easy.
Look, I have not even seen the entire video. I've seen part of it. Let me.
Yeah, why don't you crank it up?
Yeah, start it over there.
Yeah, this is
called worst twerking video ever.
It's great.
On my YouTube channel, Opie Radio.
What a disaster.
It is
Lady
funny on like
Dias.
World Star Hip Hop to hear black people comment on what we do every day or see.
Yeah.
That's so normal to us.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Lady Di and Marianne in the elevator.
Lady Di's throwing up West Side Gang signs.
Yeah, who could?
Would it be great if she was shot for that?
For anything.
That's true. Or in a robbery.
This is for my homies.
Ugh.
This is for my niggas. My homies, my brothers, my sisters, my niggas. I love you all. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. Peace.
Oh.
What, Ryan?
What's the hip?
This is terrible.
Okay. Gotta go lower. Very lower.
I can't go lower.
I can't go lower.
Then I won't be able to get up.
I won't be able to get up.
Get up.
Her purse.
Lower. Super low.
She's holding her purse and her
Jiggle.
walk.
Jiggly, jiggly, jiggly. Come on, jiggle.
Kids on the floor.
Come on, jiggle.
She got a fat ass.
Which one's got the fat? Hey, which one's got the fat ass? Go away, whoa.
I mean, like a good ass, like a fat, like in a hip hop way.
I'm trying to lose mine with that ass.
No, in a hip hop way. That's
Diane, put your pocketbook down.
This is so fucking funny.
Diane.
Oh, wait, we're strippers. Get the hell out of here.
Who kid's making it rain now?
This shit is serious. Yo, look how much money they made in like 2 minutes, yo.
Damn.
Look, like, yo,
Come on, man.
serious right now. 99 pounds for the 15 foot.
He spanked Lady Di.
Hey, what's this?
She just noticed the money and now who kid's picking it up?
Dodo head.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. Peace be with you, brothers. We love ya. I love you, too.
Oh, God, is she a disaster?
Oh, my God.
And everybody. And by the way, on World Star Hip Hop, did anybody have a problem with them saying niggas?
No, man, they
Of
thought it was
course
hilarious.
Not.
They loved
because
it.
everybody gets that. That's fucking 50 Cent's DJ. Like, no one thinks anything.
No.
They thought it was hilarious. 50 Cent, supposedly, according to Sam, texted DJ Who Kid about the video.
He may have seen that, especially if it's on World Star Hip Hop.
My favorite part is Marianne going, he thinks we're strippers.
Yeah.
I don't think he thinks you're strippers.
No. The whole thing with the purse.
Yeah, put your purse down, Diane.
Purse down, Diane, and the fucking water bottle, and she's...
My favorite part is the jiggly, jiggly, jiggly. She just starts saying, jiggly, jiggly, jiggly.
I like after Who Kid smacks Lady Di on the ass, and she turns around and sees the money and goes, what's this?
Right, all
That's how long
happy.
she's been broke. She doesn't recognize it.
Yeah.
Why are the president staring at me?
You got any good comments?
Yeah, a lot of references to them being Paula Dean's friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and somebody's saying that they can use the N-word because Who Kid isn't a dumb Uncle Tom.
Right.
All right. Is or isn't?
Is.
Oh, they don't like Who Kid?
Well, that person didn't.
Oh.
A lot of LMFAOs.
Yeah.
You know, a lot
But wait, what is it? Grandma getting
turned up in the elevator. Pop that ass, Granny. Let me see you freak. No, put your teeth back in. I said freak, not teeth.
Black people just know how to have fun, man.
Oh,
they just know how to have fun.
On a damn elevator, LOL.
Yeah.
It's such a different... I was watching last night videos of... you know how like, you get these rap war videos? Remember the Rick Ross thing with the gangsters? And I was watching, like, you get into this spiral. So somebody apparently knocked out... Remember, you know The Game, the rapper? Some guy apparently knocked him out at one point. So I'm watching this guy who was a Crip, just sitting there talking to the camera, but I'm a real nigga, and he was, you know... And I'm like, this is a different world than I live in.
Right.
And then I look up again, and the guy who was in the video that I was watching had been shot not long after the video.
Oh, wow.
In his BMW, they executed him. Like,
wow.
Like, what a fucking
Crazy.
different world that is to live in.
A whole nother world.
Wow.
Scary.
Fucking
Crazy
scary,
shit.
man.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
It's times where I'm happy not to fucking live in that world, just to pop in and look
Yeah.
around. Hi, guys. I'm as white as they come. Taking off now.
How you doing? Going home.
But it's funny to hear them react to something like
cornballs, and this person says, I'm so shame. I'm so shame. Get your grandma on my dick. No, got your grandma, on my dick. Yeah, whatever. Thanks to World Star Hip Hop. I went back and forth with those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool over there, actually.
It was amazing. People loved it. That's so funny. She's got I don't know, you can't even blame Marianne. people have been so trained to just be petrified that you're going to get in trouble for that, and because people have gotten in trouble for it. So, you can't even blame her.
And she's doing it's so obvious, the context of the video.
Yes, why can't that be looked at? The context of it's obvious. It's funny. It's fun. Good natured. There's no animosity there.
It's a hip hop way of saying it. It's not a nigger.
Right.
It's a fucking. It's a famous DJ there.
Exactly. That's why just.
Oh, wow.
Gotta relax.
Joe's panicking, though.
Joe's panicking. In his web of lies that he was spinning in 1 minute, he's blurted out like 3 lies.
It was so obvious Marianne was right there. But no, that was a female employee picking up Joe, which turns out to be a male employee.
Female employee.
Well, that could happen.
Picking him up. She just left. Meanwhile, why would he address the female employee that is coming to pick him up in a way where she is completely familiar with what we're talking about? Like, he didn't have to say, he was just like, it was obviously Marianne right there.
And she does leave for work at 6:30, so maybe she'll call tomorrow.
This guy
to discuss the video.
To pick me up. Oh boy, was he bullshitting.
No kidding. You know, the story we forgot to talk about yesterday was Benson's ex-wife there. The Mets guy.
Oh, that hot
Where's
woman.
Travis? He knows a lot about this.
Losing
story.
her fucking mind.
She was beautiful, man. I can't believe that was like 8 years ago we talked about her.
Who?
She was the wife of Benson, who pitched for the Mets.
Shit, she's sexy, man.
She's in the paper again today.
Anna Benson.
Anna Benson, that's right. She was.
Look at that picture. Wowie kazowie. That's pretty good.
Was she a model? She was a model?
Sort of. She was one of those kind of like peripheral models that, got some attention because of who she was married to. Right? She was in FHM and some other places.
F.H. Riley's?
F.H. Riley's,
No.
400 New York Avenue in the heart of fucking Huntington Village. Try the spring rolls, my favorite.
Oh, those are great.
She's a crazy person.
She's 37 with 4 kids.
Whoa.
And then obviously not in that picture, but
No.
she looks great.
She probably had a few kids already when those pictures were taken.
Wow, she lost them.
So what happened?
She's crazy.
Like she went away. Like, give me the history of her again, Travis. You were reminding me the other day.
Well,
wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you. She's an ex-stripper.
Okay.
Not that that matters.
Go back to 2004 when she was brought to our attention.
Yeah, Edgar, I'm trying to do something.
sorry.
Oh, Edgar.
It was Chris Benson, was it?
Chris Benson, yeah. He was a pitcher for the Mets.
And does he pitch anymore?
No.
He's out of the league?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know. And then the Orioles, yes, Sam. So she made some comment that if Chris Benson ever cheated on her, she'd sleep with the whole team.
Remember that?
And that kind of like propelled her into
stardom.
Yeah, stardom.
I hope he jerked off, making her tell him that over and over again.
That would get Jimmy going.
All I would do is say, which one would you fuck first? And as I came on myself, before she got to the bullpen, I'd be cleaning up with a sock.
And so, then she did FHM, and she posed topless in Penthouse and Playboy, and
where's the topless pictures?
I don't know, maybe if Sam
she has
could
a
get off his phone.
she has a really nice set.
By the way, she says here, we've been
They're
married.
separated perfectly. They just kind of go like.
She says, we've been married 15 years and he can't keep it in his pants. So I guess he was she goes, he
Yeah, I
can't
guess
stop
he was
fucking
like-
my friends.
Oh, boy.
Friends.
Yeah, I guess he was banging her friends.
So they eventually got divorced, and I guess
How long ago?
last year, I think.
Oh, okay.
And he filed for custody, and I think he won custody of all their kids.
Right.
So then I guess over the weekend, she stormed into his house with a bulletproof vest and a gun and a knife, and allegedly demanded $30,000, even though she claims it's her money.
But I gotta stop. Like, she thinks she's gonna get away with it.
I know.
That's what amazes me about some of these situations.
So he said, "Okay, hang on, let me go get the money."
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
And then he's not gonna
just stay here.
call the authorities eventually about this.
And so he ran out of the house.
Of course he
and
did.
Called the cops and hid in the woods until.
Yeah, I read that today. He ended up hiding in the
Hiding
woods.
in the woods.
Until the
And
cops
when-
showed up.
And when the cops showed up, Anna called him a pussy for calling the cops.
Right. And then she's just hanging out on the porch, having a cigarette, and the cops show up.
Waiting for her cash to come.
Yeah, heavily armed. She's out on the cops are heavily armed, and she's out on the porch having a cigarette.
In a bulletproof vest.
In a bulletproof vest. And
Yeah,
she goes, yeah, the gun's in the house. She knew she was
Yeah, it's in the house.
And then she claims she's wearing the bulletproof vest because, like, she's modeling it for this company and she's testing it or something.
She's
Oh,
she's designing bulletproof vests.
Okay.
Oh, for women with giant tits, apparently. That's great.
So
Good
what
for
happens
her.
now?
Now she's in jail.
No, obviously. Well, what kind of charges or time will she do?
What is it? Robbery, but what's the word?
That's an attempted armed robbery or
Yeah,
terroristic
armed robbery.
threats? That's
Armed
fucking-
robbery.
That's
Armed
a
robbery,
big one.
yeah.
Could Chris Benson go, just
She faces
let her
20
be.
years.
Really?
I don't know what he can do to get out of that. If she came in with a gun and demanded money, that's a fucking
Yeah,
bad
I don't
thing,
think it's
man.
up to him now.
So what's the problem with her?
She's a crazy person.
On drugs and shit, or what?
I don't know.
What are they saying?
Well, she says it's not true. Like in that article, she's like, you know,
Yeah,
the
she's
truth
denying
will
it.
come out. Right?
Oh, boy.
You know?
she's hot though. See the
She
pictures
is
in the paper.
Maniac.
There's always a price to pay for the hot ones like that.
There's
Big tits.
some nice separation. It just kind of go to like the side just slightly. Like
She's insane.
Heavy tits. Heavy tits.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I just suck them.
Both?
Yeah.
Is he? I guess he's not with another girl or something.
I don't know. I mean, apparently he slept with all of her friends. So.
But then she told the cops that there's drugs in the house. And then the cops did take some syringes out of the house and some pills. So
I don't know.
This story's going to get better and better.
Yeah. They're just
wow,
setting their kids up for a life of pain.
Yeah.
You know?
Embarrassing.
Yeah. It is embarrassing. You got like 3 kids and now like, oh, mom busted into dad's house.
Where's that kind of drama on $1 Million listings?
Yeah.
That's great drama right there.
That's the season finale.
Yeah.
Gotta save that shit.
I need a house located next to some woods so I could hide there when my wife comes in with a gun and a bulletproof vest. Damn. Well, good for them. They sound like a nice couple.
They'll work out their issues.
Yeah, they'll work it out.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And no marriage is perfect.
Yeah. You know, you got to work at a good marriage.
It goes back to our old bit. It starts with the song, your wedding song.
Oh, I'm sure, right?
And you fast forward to some horrific thing that is happening.
Yeah, what they say, like she was beating her chest with the baton that she had. Like
Really?
an ape. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I bet
you she looked really hot as she was doing all this crazy shit, though.
Imagine when he was looking at her, like walking down the aisle as a bride, that love that was in his eyes, and then there you are. You fast forward, and there you are.
We might have to break out one of our old bits because there's a lot of guys right now listening to us.
Oh,
they know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I love the bit. We haven't done it in a while. Where
what was the song? Yeah,
you call up with your wedding song, and then we play your wedding song.
Yep.
And then you tell us what
happened
with the marriage.
Yeah,
it's a
So
terrific little
you
bit.
don't think that, like, while he was watching her walk down the aisle, like, oh, she'll
One of these
never
days,
pull a gun on me and she'll demand $30,000.
We were made for each other. We're soulmates.
I'll hide in the woods.
Right.
Oh, just dancing.
All that other shit happens to other couples. It's not going to happen to us. Not us.
They're looking at each
Not
other.
my
All the
ex-stripper
guests,
wife.
Right.
All the guests are at the wedding, watching them dance, leaning over. God, she's so beautiful.
He's so lucky. He's a star pitcher and he's got a beautiful wife.
That is the perfect couple. You know what? What a life they have together. This is so beautiful.
Blessed.
Blessed.
Except for Mookie Wilson, who's going, I hope she starts with me.
Mookie Wilson. Wow. Nice.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Yeah.
They're perfect together. They look like a movie couple. Oh. Where's the gun?
You pussy.
You fucking pussy running away from me.
The phones are starting to ring.
God.
People might want to play.
Damn it.
Yeah. A-Rod's got to talk to Major League Baseball on Friday, huh?
Friday, yeah.
They could fucking suspend him, right?
Could they ban him right away, or is it going to take a little while?
No, he'd get suspended first.
I think the Major League Baseball to suspend A-Rod, Braun, I guess they're suspending him after the All-Star break.
Can they execute him?
I don't know.
Execute him. Shoot him in the face.
And what, the All-Star game's at Citi Field this year, huh?
Yeah.
When does that shit go down? This weekend?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
You couldn't tell from Bobo's fucking tweets?
Yeah. I don't follow
Jesus
Bobo.
Christ.
I've blocked more Bobo accounts
I don't know if
than
you
I
know,
could
but
count.
he wants
right?
tickets.
Yeah.
Huh?
Begging,
He wants tickets.
begging me for tickets.
How about Colin and Seinfeld?
Oh, that's...
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Colin finally just went, no, I can't. No.
Oh, he did say that?
Yeah.
Colin was all in for one day.
One day, and then it's like, no.
Leave me alone.
No, it's not happening.
It's not fun anymore. Bobo's fun for about 3 minutes.
Yep.
And then it gets really
Tedious. Tedious.
Yes.
Yeah, all he's been doing is, Anthony, what to go with you?
Oh, you going to go to the Fan Fest? Who wants you there?
I won't even be near there, no. No, I won't.
I'd go to the All-Star game if someone had a little ticket laying
Game,
around.
sure, yeah.
Seinfeld
Game's
and
fun.
Colin.
Yeah.
I went in Baltimore like years ago.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it is fun.
I would
It's
go
cool
to like
do.
the Home Run Derby or
Oh,
something.
he gets right in the face.
Oh,
Wow,
that hurt.
They're laughing at him.
That's Willie Geist. He's all right, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They'll get to him eventually.
Sam's boy.
That's my homeboy.
Mainstream media will get to him eventually, and he won't be as cool as he is right now.
He's a shit at the moment.
Yeah.
One day he will be NBC News anchor.
Do we have to?
He'll be the big guy.
Do we have to make believe that one of the Cleveland girls isn't a whack job?
Dude, that girl is insane.
You see her eyes?
She's crazy.
They almost pop out of her head when she's talking.
And she's speaking really odd. I mean, obviously she's locked up since she was a teen, but
there,
I think she was.
But there were reports that she was a little strange before that.
Yeah, she had some issues.
So maybe it's okay to talk about. I don't
feel
know.
very bad for her.
But when they did their, they went to a lawyer's office yesterday. Amanda Berry and Gina De Jesus. And who's the other one? Michelle.
Well, didn't the one have reconstructive surgery done too? Again, remember she was going to get out of the hospital and she had to stay.
Yeah.
She just had some surgery done to her face. I guess this fucking.
Well,
piece
now
of
I
shit
feel
beat
like
her
a fucking
badly.
asshole.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, he beat her pretty bad, and I think that he fucked
forget
up her
it.
face.
Please make believe you didn't hear what I just said. Then.
Well, let me see. It might not even be her.
That's horrible.
It's not her.
Not Amanda Berry. Who are the other ones?
Michelle Knight is the one that looks a little.
That's the one that spent
a
the
little
time in
fucked up.
hospital.
Probably a combo of before and during.
She's very religious now, I think.
The capture.
She wants to help people that are in the, which is odd. She wants to help people that have had the same things happen to them. It's like, how often are people kidnapped and held?
Right.
And well,
I bet her and fucking John McCain would have a good conversation. She probably understands guys like combat veterans who have been held.
I don't know if that girl understands anybody.
Oh,
she's a little weird. This
Can we
chick
play
is,
the tape?
It's
It's 3
one's
minutes.
the hot one.
Amanda Berry is doing. She seems to be doing pretty well, considering. And she was the one that had the kid too with the monster.
I'll bet you that stabilized her. Fucking having to watch out for that kid probably made
Gave her something to do.
Yeah.
And maybe she was treated slightly better because of that too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he
knows?
kidnapped that one, and then after like a couple of days, he's like, "Oh boy, what did I do?
I captured a broken one.
Oh jeez, can't let her go."
If you're gonna capture teenagers, you can't capture the broken ones.
No.
You might as well go for a good one.
You gotta. Oh Jesus, it's terrible. It is terrible.
The whole thing is horrible. I wish they would fucking shoot the guy in the back of the fucking head.
He should be beaten to death in jail.
There she is. That's the what is that?
Let's
Thank
see,
you.
Sam.
No, it's they all went to, I guess they have the same lawyer, and they finally put out a statement. And some people are kind of like, why would they put this up on YouTube? But that's the new way to do things.
That's what you do now.
Yeah.
I mean, you make a video, and then you don't have to go on all these shows, and then all the shows will play your statement.
Exactly.
So this is, it's like 3 minutes long.
First and foremost, I want everyone to know how happy I am to be home with my family and my friends. It's been unbelievable.
She's Amanda Berry.
I want to thank everyone who has helped me and my family through this entire ordeal. Everyone who has been there to support us, it's been a blessing to have such an outpouring of love and kindness. I'm getting stronger each day, and having my privacy has helped immensely. I ask that everyone continues to respect our privacy and give us time to have a normal life.
You're on YouTube telling people to respect your privacy. That's a little odd, right?
There's a smart way to do it.
Say something to each and every person out there who contributed
take forever
to your funds to help you. What would you say to them?
I would say thank you for the support.
I'd like to thank everybody who donated to the carriage fund for these girls.
He was kidnapped?
And,
all right?
All about it. Everybody that donated. I also like to thank the family for having so much passion and faith and the strength to go along with us.
I would like personally to thank the Courage Fund, everybody in general. And I'm also saying my community, my neighbors.
Is that the mother?
Every single one.
Must
they
be,
know
right?
who they are.
Yeah.
Awesome. So people, I'm talking not just people, but parents in general that does have a loved one missing.
Boring.
Please do me one big favor. Count on your neighbors.
What?
Don't be afraid to ask for the help.
Okay.
Because help is available.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, this girl.
Thank you everyone for your love, support, and donations, which helped me build a brand new life. I just want everyone to know I'm doing just fine. I may have been through hell and back, but I am strong enough to walk through hell with a smile on my face.
Oh boy.
And with my head held high and my feet firmly on the ground. Walking hand in hand with my best friend, I will not let the situation define who I am. I will define the situation. I don't want to be consumed by hatred.
Sometimes my feet hurt.
With that being said, we
I
need
like
to take
flowers.
a leap of faith and know that God is in control. We have been hurt by people, but we need to rely on God as being the judge. God has a plan for all of us. The plan that He gave me was to help others that have been in the same situations I have been in. To know that there's someone out there to lean on and to talk to. I'm in control of my own destiny with the guidance of God. I have no problem expressing how I feel inside.
At least she's got God.
Be positive. Learn that it's important to give than to receive. Thank you for all your prayers. I'm looking forward to my brand new life.
Aw.
Yeah, she's had 11 years of fucking beatings at that fucking animal.
Right.
I think she was in the one who, remember we couldn't get, there wasn't a picture of one of the girls?
Yeah,
I think it was her.
It was her. That was
she was
the
having
black and white
construction
photo.
done on her face.
Right.
That's probably why she talks a little off, because she was just probably, it's probably just a fucking.
They didn't have a picture for a while.
Beaten by this guy.
Then they had a black and white photo.
Oh, look at the puppy. Yeah, that's terrible.
God's twisted.
Yeah.
She probably believed in God her whole life. She's in that fucking house of horror.
House of horrors.
Horrors.
That's
for
right.
11 years.
You wonder if
you would think God would take care of some of the people that really believe.
Right? God's plan for me. It's like, gee, thanks.
Right.
Nice plan.
Right.
Fucking A.
And every time we do this break, people get so mad.
I know. But I mean, really.
Yeah, I mean.
I know God has a plan for me. Well.
Great, thanks.
That's great. He couldn't have just plopped you right here in this point in his plan and left that other shit.
Right.
You know, fucking.
I know it's a lot deeper than that, because people will now try to explain it to you on Twitter all day.
Of course.
But, you know.
I don't want to hear it, by the way. I understand.
Looking at the basics of it, it seems a bit twisted that
so
God
sad.
would allow that to happen to one of his children.
That's terrible. And they're all, it's so weird. They're all in this weird kind of childlike state. Sure. You hear them talk and they haven't really had the chance to mature or anything. So they have this weird kind of.
I think Amanda Berry seems
definitely by far the
she
most
has her shit
adjusted one,
together, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't she? And the one who we just heard, the night girl. Wasn't she the longest captive too? Like
I think she was
2002.
first. Yeah.
And,
Boboette.
And then De Jesus.
He's just
De Jesus turns out to be Castro's daughter's friend.
No.
Yeah.
Right, the father.
What a sick fuck.
God has a plan for me, all right? It's terrible. I feel bad for her. I really do. It's so sad to watch. I mean,
She wants to go to the All-Star game.
I would try to get her tickets to the All-Star game if she wanted to go. Unlike fucking dummy.
Do you know how amazing that book is going to be? Like, they have to have a book. Hopefully, they'll actually do one all together. They might do three separate ones, but I'd be interested in just reading one that they all kind of collaborate on.
Yeah.
The common experience and all three of them chiming in about different periods and stuff.
It's fucking to have that filter in place. That you don't have that audio that's going to go into the microphone and you're going to listen to it on the news and go, oh, I shouldn't have said that when you get fired. Because I was just thinking, if they do tour around and come in here, I had a few suggestions that I'm not even going to say as to what Jimmy would have them sign.
Right.
Just horrible things. I'm not going to say that. Because Jimmy likes when people come in and take pictures and have things signed. What, you got some UFC gloves here?
Even though, Chris Weidman's in the building later, but we don't have him because he's not here till 1:30.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah, I'm going to leave it for him to sign if he will.
Let's come.
And that would actually be appropriate.
Let's come back and interview him.
What?
Let's come back and interview him.
Yeah.
He's a Long Island guy.
That would be nice. He is a...
We haven't told the people yet that.
Big man on campus.
He's a Long Island guy.
Maybe we can get him tomorrow.
That'd be nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Love to talk to him.
Knocked out Silva. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
I'm sure he'll remember meeting me.
Know who's coming in today at 8?
Who?
Judge Alex.
Who's Judge? Who is that?
God.
I don't know Judge Alex.
He does the show. Judge Alex.
Oh.
How did this come about?
Yeah.
He's all in on the Zimmerman trial?
He's been on every network talking about it. And really the only guy I've seen talk about this honestly and with the facts and whatnot. So he's very good. Very good. He was he actually came over from Cuba when he was 1 and became a cop in Florida.
That's young to be a cop.
Yes. He was a 1-year-old cop.
He must have been terrible. He pulls you over and he just bangs you with his gun and makes in his pants. You have to change the officer.
He's just shaking the keys to the cop car. Chingle, chingle, chingle.
Yeah. The fucking the captain pulls up. He's like, "There's my hat." And this 1-year-old cop is wearing it sideways, hitting the siren.
He's been on all the shows though about the Zimmerman trial and
what does his take? Does he think he's gonna be acquitted or what's he think?
I think he thinks there's not enough evidence to convict him, but he also has been through enough as a judge because he was also a judge to know that the juries you can't be 100% with those. He doesn't think the prosecution has made its case. So that's where he stands. But he's very insightful on a lot of things, and he really knows the law.
Right.
And he keeps things very uncluttered. It's like, this is what needs to be done in order to get a guilty verdict, and this is what they haven't done.
But what does he do on his judge show?
Well, if
landlord disputes,
if
what does he do?
someone came in and hit someone's car with a shopping cart, he will make sure they pay or don't. And I love those bogus countersuits on those shows. They never pan out, do they? He's countersuing for $5,000. I'm throwing your countersuit out. And got it. He's good though. I like Judge Alex. I watched his show.
When that stupid witch was suing us, and we went down there for a few days, as much as we bitched about it, I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Watching all the ridiculous cases being brought in front of the judge. Oh.
Jesus.
Kind of liked it. I felt like I was on a TV show.
Yeah.
It's fun.
There was critical testimony yesterday about how the guy. I was on the treadmill watching this about that weird coroner, about that pathologist.
Another ghoul.
He was really good.
He was great. He was very believable.
Yeah, but he's just another ghoul.
I know.
Well, he was talking about how you could talk for 15 seconds if you don't have a heart.
If they rip your heart out like fucking Temple of Doom.
You see that part?
Kalima.
He basically said after your heart stops, you could still talk for 10 to 15 seconds, and then the lawyer goes, "So you're basically saying if what did he say his? I don't know." He goes, "If my heart heart is ripped out. I could talk for another 15 seconds. And he goes, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And the testimony about how Trayvon was on top because of the powder burns, they can tell all that shit. It's on page 10 of the Daily News, and I can't find it in the Post. I'm just interested in the way the press, again, these are the people that are attackable. They don't... Yeah. The stuff that bolsters their narrative, they put on the front page. The stuff that
what was more important? That it's on the front page.
Oh, the Met wife rampage, and she's Miss USA and can't get a date in New York.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. Well, that's definitely more important than a case that's going to have the whole fucking country rioting in another week.
Oh my God.
Their priorities are right where they should be, Jim Norton.
This pathologist, what? Amazing.
Nothing. The Post, I mean, page 3, very important news, right as you open up the newspaper.
Yes.
Dogs getting their own TV network.
All right.
So that they deemed more important than the Zimmerman shit.
Yeah.
Well, because of this part of the Zimmerman trial doesn't boost what they've been saying as the press.
If you were watching it, I think it was after 9:30 last night. They were still in court.
Wow.
Were they?
Still in court, arguing out of eyes and ears of the jury. The jury was already gone, but they were arguing whether Trayvon's phone texts and pictures should be admitted, and not a peep on the news about that. And, I mean, you're talking texts that are talking about fights, drug use, him trying to sell a gun, pictures of him with the gun, an illegal gun he's trying to sell, his penchant for fighting. And I think relevance was being argued by the defense in that, he has a penchant for fighting. And some of the descriptions of his fights match what he was doing to Zimmerman, getting on top, punching down, bloodying the guy's nose, but he said that wasn't enough. He wants to fight him more. It is relevant. The only reason the judge is even thinking about it, and that she's going to render a decision, I guess, this morning, is you can't tell who actually
sent the text,
even though you know it's him.
Right.
Everyone knows it's him, but there's no mechanical connection that they can make to him.
Right.
It's amazing.
To interrupt you, that's a weird one, the relevance to that, because I understand why they want it, but it's almost like a rape victim or whatever, like where they say like even if it's a woman who's accused 5 other guys, like they won't allow it in.
That's why also. But the weird part is, this being a self-defense case, it's not, you can't put your finger on the victim and perpetrator victim here. Because claiming self-defense, you're claiming you were the victim, and he's the perpetrator. But it's still a murder 2 trial, so he's the victim, and Zimmerman's the perpetrator. So and I had a buddy of mine, I was talking to him yesterday, and he was even saying the reason that some of this evidence is so difficult to say if it's admissible or not is that this should never have gone to trial in the first place. When you have a self-defense case that is so obviously self-defense, it never goes to trial. It's stopped right there. The cops do their investigation and say, well, you know what? We're not going to charge it. It goes to a grand jury. The grand jury goes, of course, it's self-defense. But now that it's self-defense and you realize you don't know who the victim is here and who the perpetrator is, it's very hard to say, should this evidence be submitted? Is it just victimizing the victim?
Right.
Or is it looking at somebody who is perpetrating an assault on somebody? It gets very difficult as to what evidence should be admissible. So that's why so much time being spent on some of this stuff. But the judge walked right out of the courtroom. She's like, no, I'll render my decision tomorrow on this. And Don West was up there, and he's got like, we need more time on this. We need that. But she put her hand up and walked out the door. She's
had enough.
Screw you guys. I'm going ahead. It's it.
The Chris Farley broad.
Yeah. Judge Nelson.
I kind of like her, though.
Don West. I know.
Is that Don West?
That's
no, I know. The Don West we know and love from the past. That's what he looks like these days?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Trayvon Martin's texts. We want to admit Trayvon Martin's texts. And the pictures of him with a gun. Pictures with a gun. Look at these pictures. Let me open up his phone here. Here he is with an illegal weapon. Illegal weapon.
Jesus. How did he get the illegal weapon?
I don't know, actually.
No, I was asking Don West.
Oh,
I'm assuming there were some rookie cards involved.
Let's take a look in here, see what we got. It's some Skittles. You want some Skittles?
What condition are they in?
Mint Gem Mint 10. Not even opened. Gem Mint 10 Arizona watermelon iced tea. It was a watermelon iced tea, by the way.
Yuck.
People were speculating he was trying to make some scissor with the Skittles, the watermelon iced tea, and then you put a little cough syrup in there, and you know.
Yeah, you had some codeine. That would be the
Some
recipe
codeine.
for syrup.
It is.
Really?
It's like
100%.
Yeah. So
How do you
they
say
were
it again?
speculating that. They,
Add a couple Z's in there to keep it cool. Be getting there.
They're, you know what it is, too? The news is not even commenting on the argument to let in his texts. There's no lists of his texts.
Right.
Now, the news isn't the court. They could put whatever they want in there as far as what is being argued. They have, as a matter of fact, put arguments on this new animation that they wanted to put into evidence, but it's not totally accurate, so they were arguing that. That's going to be rendered also a decision today. But they're not commenting on this because it doesn't fit their narrative as Trayvon being the angelic 12-year-old, wearing the shirt, riding the horse. It doesn't play into that. It plays into him doing drugs, trying to sell a gun, fucking fighting, his fights that he's had, plenty of them, apparently, and it doesn't fit their narrative of this whole thing.
There's one picture I saw online. I think it was Trayvon's dad kissing him on the head.
Yeah.
That's a heartbreaking photo.
Dude, they just but that's...
No, I just saw it online. I didn't see it on the news.
Yeah, I've seen it on the news. That's how HLN, Headline News, comes back from commercial. They show him kissing, his father kissing him on the head, and they switch to a picture of Zimmerman in the courtroom sitting there. It's so overtly biased, these motherfuckers on the news. And that's why people think that Zimmerman should be put in jail.
They're simply the worst. And I have my issues with Zimmerman, and I've said what my problems are with him and where I don't believe him.
Of course, his half Hispanic.
I don't care for that at all. What is with this race mixing? But no, it's like I said, and the lawyer. Remember his brother's lawyer, who's a fan of the show.
Yeah.
He texted me. He Twittered me. He's like, hey, I just disagree. I'm like, I don't want to get into a Twitter thing with him because I like the guy. It's like I would talk to you on air about it. I simply don't believe that what he said, you're going to die. I just think I don't find that believable, or his explanation for the gun. I just don't find them. There's something I don't buy in that. However.
But you can't convict him on that stuff.
No, exactly. And I know that. I don't say he should be fucking thrown in jail for the rest of his life either.
Right. That's why people are bothered.
You go back and forth with stuff like this. I hear new evidence. All right, maybe that makes sense.
It's an evidence blowout extravaganza. Evidence blowout extravaganza. Give me 5 minutes on the clock. You could get this with FlexPay.
Well, we got Judge Alex coming in.
Yes,
at
Judge
8 o'clock.
Alex.
So we'll get into the Zimmerman trial a little bit more.
Yeah. He's got great insight, man. And I definitely want to ask him about the admissibility of the phones and the texts and what he thinks, and why there is a difference between somebody using phone records as evidence against you and why it can't be used in certain circumstances, like in this case, not even on relevance, but on some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Like to confirm that there's no way to confirm if it's his text.
Sure.
So, but there's plenty of instances where the only person that could confirm if they're your texts is either dead, which, Trayvon's dead. They were saying he's the only one that could actually confirm whether they were his or not. But what if you're the only one that could confirm it? They have these texts against you, and you don't confirm it. They use these things against people all the time. So why Why can't it be admitted?
We're going to find out why.
And then he's going to probably say, I bet you that she will not allow it in. I'm saying she's not. My prediction is she will not allow it on relevance because it had nothing to do with, this is what she'll say, with what was happening.
They made a great case of relevance.
I think they're good lawyers. Zimmerman's got good attorneys.
Yeah. That goddamn O'Mara is really good.
Yeah.
And he really settled in to a good groove in this case. Because at first I was thinking like, uh-oh. And then, especially with the dumb joke that West told. Yeah. But then they sat West, man. That was it. They're like, O'Mara's our guy. And he gets up there all the time now and argues. West doesn't really say much in front of a jury anymore.
What was he saying that could possibly make that relevant? Like, that's a really fucking tough call.
Again, the penchant for fighting, the past fighting, it really does come into play here. They're arguing who would have hit who first. And then if you have texts of Trayvon talking about his numerous fights and how he fights, these things seem relevant to the case. Then
again, I guess Zimmerman's prior 911 calls were admissible.
Yeah, those things. Yeah. That's just it. We'll see what the judge says. Both Alex and Nelson later on.
But more importantly, after the break, we got a 100-year-old woman that loves saying "dick."
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, right, Sam.
See that clip?
I did.
Oh yeah.
Is dick an old word like that?
Oh no, she means dick.
Yeah, she doesn't mean like the guy that runs around the hotel trying to catch people that haven't paid.
No, she means dick and balls.
The bank dick. There's a movie called The Bank
loves dick.
Trying to get her some.
And we still haven't done the Pitbull story.
And sitting in front of me, I have a couple of
fuck, I forgot about
this is great.
Book reports, assignments completed in full.
Look at that. It's done on little loose leaf paper. It's typical schoolgirl, girly writing on there. I see some crossed out things.
Full headings.
We gave the girls, the interns, of course.
Who are only
they wrote it out?
How old are they?
Psychos.
It's great.
How old are they? Like 19 and 20?
19, 20,
21,
things
something
like that. The lovely Jackie and Sydney wrote out a report. We gave them a homework assignment yesterday. They were to watch an episode of Quincy. Because there are a lot of older shows they're just not even familiar were ever on the air. And it's amazing. So we wanted to get their opinion on an older show. So we chose Quincy as one of the shows to just see how they would like it. So we have them do it in like book report fashion. So we'll bring them in and discuss their little book reports. Yeah.
That might be a little later because we're going to need time.
Oh, yeah.
After Judge Alex, how do you say his last name?
How do you spell it?
Ferrer.
Oh, Ferrer.
Ferrer.
Judge Alex Ferrer.
So after his appearance, we'll get into the book report thing, okay? So
Judge Ferrer.
Okay. That's later in the show.
Yes.
But first, this.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM. See, told you we had sponsors.
And now back to
The Opie and Anthony Show.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night. I should be sleeping like a log. But when I get home to you, I find the things that you do will make me feel alright. You know I work all day to get your money to buy a thing, and it's worth it just to hear you say you're gonna give me everything. So why on earth should I moan? 'Cause when I get you alone, you know I feel okay. When I'm home, everything seems to be right. When I'm home, feeling you holding me tight, tight, yeah. It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night. I should be sleeping like a log. But when I get home to you, I find the things that you do will make me feel alright.
49 years ago today.
What? That's insanity.
The Beatles released A Hard Day's Night.
How'd it work out for him?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Most overrated band in history.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. I love the Beatles.
I like their trippy shit. I like their drug stage.
There was quite a definite difference.
Two different bands.
In 6 years or 8 years?
Yeah.
They fucking went through such a transformation.
You just look at the introduction of drugs to a band, and that's exactly what you get.
We should introduce drugs to this show.
Yeah.
Let's grow our hair
Some
out.
fucking LSD.
Really
and Ravi came in and made sure we were spiritually one.
Really?
Ravi.
Oh, Paul, do you have an aspirin? Me head hurts.
Jesus.
I've been getting these headaches.
Why'd you go right to this?
It was George's song.
George.
I used to love this one. I misunderstood it.
No. George was fucking pretty goddamn good. I like George's stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
It was tough for him to get his songs on the albums, man.
I know.
And you realize, wow, this guy was extremely talented as well. I mean, he got a bunch of them on there.
Yeah, but not like fucking.
What was the big George Harrison song that he actually gave to the Beatles? And they're like, which one was it?
Not Lord, right? No,
it was in that documentary.
Oh, that's like
his first solo album. He goes, "Yeah, I gave this song to the boys. They didn't want it." Come on, where are our Beatles fans today?
Can we look up George Harrison hits, Sam?
Sure, it isn't this one. This is a pretty big
might have
hit.
been this one. Maybe it was.
Wait, is this the Beatles or Harrison alone?
This is George Harrison.
This is Harrison. Yeah.
Oh, I think this
is the Beatles.
This is the Beatles.
Oh,
yeah, all right.
But it's Harrison's song. He wrote it.
No, but I'm saying it's not a solo.
Oh, okay.
It's the Beatles.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the George Harrison song that wasn't a Beatles song.
Oh boy!
Released after the band broke up. Come on, help me out.
I'm looking down here. No one on Pal Talk wants to help me.
It wasn't what it's
like. Lazy
like.
bastards. My sweet Lord.
I think it might have been something.
Something in the way.
Huh?
That's the Beatles song.
Oh yeah.
Something.
Wait,
I'm fucking this up.
My head's like a fishbowl in an earthquake.
Oh God.
That same depressive fucking God, I hate them. Yes, this is Beatles.
No, whatever.
You sure it's not Lord? I never liked that Lord.
Sweet Lord.
Never, Sweet Lord, I don't like.
Love Sweet Lord.
Yeah, I just. And I'll hear it and I'll go, that's all right.
Yeah.
You don't like this?
Oh.
It's okay. I don't think it stinks, but it's not. Yeah, it's decent, but I don't know. Imagine having fucking McCartney and Lennon
in front of you. So he was the third guy.
Jesus.
Then he would come with his songs. And
I've got something a little better than you. Can we play my okay, forget it.
But the level of those geniuses, to have to fucking compete with that to get your shit on the record.
Oh,
those minds.
Notice we haven't brought up Ringo's name at all.
He was just happy he wasn't Pete Best. He lucked up into that gig.
He did.
I mean, that's Pete. What the fuck does Ringo care?
Ringo.
Yeah, I'll sing about a yellow submarine. It's kind of a pill. Wink, wink. Go ahead, dump my shit. Why don't I care? I'll get blown for the next 50 years. Drum.
Let's go to Joe. He knows a little something about what we're talking about.
How do you do, Joe?
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on? Yeah, I think the song you're talking about is While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yep.
Was that supposed to be a Beatles song?
It is one.
He gave that to the Beatles, and they're like, I don't know. And then he threw it on his solo album, and it was a massive hit.
No, that's a Beatles song. That's a Beatles song, dude. It's one of the best Beatles songs.
What the fuck's wrong with me today?
What is going on?
You're just throwing anything at the George Harrison wall.
That's him.
What the fuck's wrong with me today?
You're a crazy train. Yeah, Harrison threw it to the Beatles.
Hey,
I will say,
Joe, you dumb fuck, turn the goddamn radio down.
I will say I got a massive fucking headache today.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's mentioning
I
his
am
name
not
does it.
fucking focused. What's wrong with me? That's the third Beatles song. I'm like, yeah, that's George Harrison's song.
Oh, I'm sure it'll go away.
How great is this?
All night with this fucking headache.
This is a good song.
Where I can't even look at you. My eyes hurt even.
I'm too handsome.
Aw.
Guitar, gently waves.
You have some good songs.
You know what, I like a good Beatles cover too.
Yeah.
And you know what? You ever hear Fiona? I think we talked about this when Fiona Apple. Her video for "Across the Universe" is a fucking.
Oh, yeah?
It's from that movie with William Macy.
I don't know. I'm giving up on my Beatles info. I have really fucked this up today.
She does that cover of "Across the." It was what was the song with black and white and color? It was Pleasantville.
Oh,
holy fuck, was she good?
Let's listen to it.
The video is amazing. Is that the video?
It looks like it. There you go.
Words are flowing out like
Oh yeah, very slow motion.
This is from the movie?
There she is, the little waif.
Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and
She's hot.
Yeah.
She always seems troubled.
Yeah.
Very troubled.
She's wearing headphones while all this crazy shit happens around her. She's probably just sitting in front of a screen.
Yeah. I would think, right? There's a lot of hijinks and shenanigans going on.
They're
behind
ruining
her.
a diner with like sticks and a fucking
Sure are.
very violent mob.
Wow. Yeah, she's this is very 90s.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Across the universe,
Putting her upside down or something.
thoughts meander like a restless wind.
She's singing upside down.
She is.
That's a talent.
Yeah.
They tumble blindly as they
That would fuck me up.
across the universe.
She is pretty there, right? Kissable long neck.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we ruin it by popping a picture up now?
What does she look like now?
Where's Fiona Apple
I bet
now?
she has held up.
Yeah?
Huh? She has, right?
Mark Maron interviewed her recently or this year. That's why I looked her up. And
Yeah?
yeah, I think she still looks pretty goddamn good. Not as good as that,
Whoa. Is that really her? That's depressing. Oh, God. That fucking time. Time blows. Ah, God. I mean, she's still, you know. But
She looks like an older Fiona Apple.
Yeah, she looks like Fiona Apple's mom.
she's still.
I like remembering.
She's hanging in there, but
yeah, she's still
fuck.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
I remember when Criminal was out, and that was when me and Florentine were doing the VH1 pilot. That's how long ago that song is.
Wow.
Called Couch Potatoes. And we had to sit in front of it and kind of do like a mystery science theater with the videos.
Oh.
And that was one of the ones we did.
That was a
video.
Yeah,
that was huge. She's all sweaty and fucking looked like a porn movie kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Like to smooch with her.
How old is her version of Across the Universe now? When did you put that out?
I'm going to guess.
That was a huge hit.
2000?
Really?
I could be totally off, too. Yeah,
It's
Criminal.
over 10 years old already?
I think so.
98.
98.
15 years.
We were getting fired from Boston when I came out.
Wow. That's terrible.
I would think I was just meeting Dice or almost at
Oh,
that
my
point.
God. 98 for that. No, what was 14 years ago today?
No.
What, you know?
I make the prep sheet.
Oh.
Wait. What's today? What year is
telling
it?
you, my head is killing me today.
Oh.
I've brought them into you every day for 8 years.
I am so embarrassed that I was saying those songs were George Harrison's. I'm
Why?
heating up. I'm so embarrassed because I
Why?
know.
A lot of people don't know the Beatles catalog.
I know. Because I swear I know, but I'm not focused. My head is killing me.
Sure, I understand.
Oh man, I'm not gonna live that one down.
You hear
for a
that
while.
Wings song, Let It Be?
I know, it's just the worst. I take pride in knowing, some music.
No Howard
Fuck.
Johnson.
Oh, God.
Wait.
That's still my favorite.
Yeah.
The Howard Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
14 years ago today. What year is it? 1399.
Our interns were born?
Oh, Jesus.
Remember that broad that, took her shirt off because the women's soccer team won?
Oh, yeah.
That was 14 years ago.
Wait.
Yeah, I remember that.
For not wowing on the Today Show.
No. The U.S. Women's soccer team won the World Cup.
Yeah, she
And
kind of
then
ran.
She lost her shit.
For some reason, that was a big deal.
And pulled her shirt off. And
like a sports bra on.
That famous shot.
Like, who would care?
Yeah, she had a sports bra on with really good fucking abs.
Like zero body fat.
And that was 14 years ago. That seems like it was 5 years ago, maybe.
And she married Noma.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah?
No more Garcia Parra. Wow.
Remember him?
It's no man.
Well, she wasn't the one that took the shirt off, though.
No.
It was the other bra that took the shirt off.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
No, it was Mia Hamm, right?
No. Mia Hamm? Me too. I always like to just get noticed.
Oh, I'm back in. I'm back in.
Wow, damn! I thought
I'm back in.
That would have been the final one where we had to call the
Dr. Steve
or something. Yeah.
No, I'm back in. Mia Hamm married Noma Garcia Parra.
But that wasn't the girl.
But she wasn't the one that took off her shirt after they won the World Cup. I am positive on this one.
I don't know.
It was the
US
blonde.
Women's soccer.
Brandy Chastain.
Brandy, yeah, I forgot her name. What? Brandy what?
Chastain.
And what does she look like these days?
That sounds like a fake name, by the way. Brandy Chastain, like a name Colin would make up.
Chastain is a name from a movie. Who was it?
From Misery Chastain from Misery.
There you go. Okay. Very good.
Well, he said it yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I got
Oh, she's got saggy ab muscles now. I hate saggy
ab muscles.
Me too.
Oh, they're the worst. Like she's in shape, but the muscles can't kind of.
Yeah.
They're getting old.
They kind of drop
I
down.
hate that.
Does she have any kids, or was she a complete lesbian?
One or the other.
Well, yeah.
I'm not a fan of women that fucking, are ripped.
No, I'm not. I don't like that whole
in the ab area.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Never have been.
Yeah, like something you could fucking lay a fist into, watch it ripple.
We got an old broad that loves Dick.
Oh, yeah.
This is great. News 12 interviews a 100-year-old woman, but they can't air it. They can't air the interview. So how did this get out there?
I don't know exactly how it got out there, but the video is just strictly like the B-roll or whatever. Like it's the unedited reporter sitting down with the woman trying to get some sound bites, and it just isn't happening.
Wow.
Because the woman will not cooperate.
She's 100.
She's
Fuck
100.
You.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Can we see the whole video, or is it long?
You can.
Or should I just play the highlight here?
The clips are a little more digestible, but if you'd like to watch the whole video.
No, let's go with it.
Is there anybody alive from the 1800s anymore?
I think the last person died.
Didn't we do that story?
No, we had the
there are,
oldest
actually.
person, but is it some? Is
No, I
somebody
think
from
we-
1899 still
There is
alive?
somebody, yeah, you're right.
Or they said that there's only... We did this
The
recently.
Japanese guy or something who just turned.
It was either the last, or then they said now we're down to like just 9 or 10 or
The
something
last
like
male.
that.
I think the
Was
last
it?
male.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple
We just
people.
did the story a little
You
while
got to be
back.
fucking 113 or something, right?
That's possible.
At least.
113.
Yeah, there's a couple people
There are a couple of people that are 113. Wow.
There's no one from the 1700s, though.
No? When did they?
No, there's got to be people still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
113. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You wonder if you look at, like, as we talked about this again recently, but do you look at death differently? Like, I beat all the odds. That's the next step. Or do you look at it the way we do? Like, ah, fuck. I'm dead soon.
I think you want to cling on to Kind of long.
I don't know.
Like it depends if you have something to live for. Like this woman has something to live for.
You think she's still getting dick at 100?
Right. She's still got dick to live for.
Let's see.
No, you're right. How your dick hanging?
Let's talk about your birthday real quick.
Alright, Grandma, you're shocking your great-grandchildren. I want you to know that. They get shocked right there. Oh, my great-grand.
Yeah. Can you answer this question for me? How does it feel to be 100?
I feel like a lemon no mint squares.
You feel like what?
A lemon no mint squares.
Okay. And how many more years? You want another 100, right?
Oh yeah, I want 100 and 100.
So what are you doing to celebrate your birthday?
Huh?
What you doing to celebrate your birthday?
Give me a piece of dick. I know.
Give me a piece of dick.
Give me a
piece of dick.
How do they not air that and just beep it? That's fucking great.
Oh my God! Give me a piece of dick. She's saying.
That's great.
How great is she?
She just wants to.
I'm gonna ask you one more question.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna hopefully keep it PG.
Gotta keep it PG. What?
So what does it mean to you to make it to 100?
One dick. Mom, come on, Grandma. You can't come on. We'll talk about the dick later.
4 times she said dick. She's
Wow.
like,
She loves dick.
I like the first when she first says, "How's your dick swinging?" When the reporter sits down.
Yeah.
The family's all in, like, "Oh, there's Grandma being crazy again." But now they're like, they're not gonna seriously stop talking about.
Yeah, they're not going to
dick.
air this. You dummy.
You have to stop.
she doesn't care.
She seems like she's got it together though for 100.
Yeah,
She's
she wants some
funny.
dick.
Yeah, man.
And horny.
She's got some good timing.
Exactly. She wants those fucking old legs open, those old wishbones separated, something fucking just stuck in her.
Jesus.
Little kid sitting behind her on the couch.
Yeah. She wants a fucking cock stuck into that vagina that was getting wet before Hoover ran the FBI.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, 100. So
that's fucking 1913.
Let's say she lost her virginity when she was 15.
That's 28. Okay, wow.
15. So how many years ago was that now? 85
fucking
years ago?
85 years she's been taking cock.
85 years of dick. Wow.
I'm always amazed, like that Chinese guy that was 113 or 116, whatever he was. They said he retired in 1962. I'm like, your whole imagine your whole professional life has been done since the Beatles, the British invasion,
and you're still
you've been
alive
since then.
That's crazy.
Enjoying retirement.
Or are you enjoying it?
Just shaking your fist at the neighbor's kids for fucking 50 years. Wow, that's crazy. Jesus. Yeah, some old shit right there.
I want the Pitbull story that we missed yesterday.
I got it.
You got the clip?
Mm-hmm. There's more grandma stuff.
Oh, good.
Is there?
There's a third track.
I didn't see a third track.
She talk about dick.
Funny she mentioned something else. I need pussy.
One more track from the 100-year-old.
All right, now, you want to know about how you feel. You're 100 years old, and you know, so don't tell them nothing about no dick. Yeah. None of that. None of that. Tell them about that other stuff that, you know, the nice stuff. Listen, I need this. Okay? The good stuff is the
Mama, when I tell you God, you blessed by God, ain't you?
Oh, yeah.
Video.
I'm blessed by dick.
Listen, I got her saying something good. Okay. So we're good. I was trying to get more, but we're good.
You sure you don't want to give up a little more, Mom? How you feel about us? I feel better when I get a good dick.
Oh, she's the best.
Imagine if the family said, "You want dick? You really want dick? We're gonna get you dick,
Curmudgeon.
Grandma."
Get her a stripper.
You think
Jesus?
You think she would take dick at 100?
In a second.
You think she would?
And she would take big dick.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So she's not just talk.
No. She'd wet it with her fucking old dry mouth.
You'd need a lot of fucking lube, yeah.
It'd be like sticking a dick in an envelope. A smelly envelope. An envelope that had been fucking basted in shit and urine. She'd let a fucking German shepherd. She'd get fucked by a Malamute if she could.
Would she ask that her family leaves the room, or would she not bother waiting?
I don't think she'd care.
Yeah, she don't give a
either.
fuck.
No,
She'll take her dick anyway.
She wouldn't even care if she had on dirty diapers.
Why's Grandma take some dick?
That's what she would be. She don't care.
She loves it.
And now, what's this guy?
Oh, the Pitbull guy's great.
You saw the video?
Yes, I did.
I haven't seen it yet.
So good.
Can I see the video?
We ran out of time yesterday, but you got a guy. He's pretty much stuck in his house because
His own house? Oh.
because there's a pit bull on his porch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a pit bull wandered in, and then he shoot him out of his house, but now the pit bull won't leave his porch.
Yeah.
And so he's afraid of the pit bull, so now he can't leave his house.
Oh, man.
So he shut the door, but he turned on his video camera and just started yelling about the pit bull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's hear this.
Okay, this some unbelievable shit recording from the bando. That's what I'm gonna call it, because this is some old crazy Mufasa arc type crap. This dog just walked in our damn house. This big retarded dog and after throwing up on my porch. You know what I'm saying? Andre had to push him out with the pillow. It snatched the pillow from Andre, and it just
He's humping the pillow.
He trapped in the house. Niggas across the street working on the house though. They ain't even helping.
Working on the
They don't even give a fuck. They sweeping the fucking yard. Why this
house.
big ass dog is humping my pillow and we trapped in the house? This is crazy. And then let's even look over here. Cause if I can see over here, if you can see at the bus stop, let's see if we can get it. It's a nigga over there. If you can see a little bit, you see his leg and stuff like that. And this dog is not caring about none of them. Just walked in the house, we chilling, just hanging out, me, Josh, and Andre. And he just come up in the house, about to pee on everything.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
What a
Now
menace
he
that
humping
dog is.
Like it's just a good old day. I can't wait till the vet get here. Won't you go home, dog? Go home. The dog police coming up in here.
Dog police.
Look at him, looking at me all crazy. The dog police. Can you imagine these big teeth running up in your house? You chilling, just saying if you was about to barbecue or anything, and this thing ran up in your house, man, I left Andre and Josh in this motherfucker. I went in the kitchen. I ain't gonna lie. Fuck that. I fight a nigga. I ain't fighting no dog. I ain't fighting no dog. Get off my poke. You gotta go, man.
He's a fat-headed
Police
dog.
coming. You must not be a nigga dog, cause you must think you white, cause the motherfucking a black dog would have ran off this porch when I said police. Taking breaks in mid-sections on humping my poor pillow that been drooled on, dragged, and mistreated. I'm sorry that my outside of my window messed up. He been playing with that too. He just been acting a fool. Big retarded dog on my porch. You know what I'm saying? Chilling, humping it.
Humping it.
Taking breaks. And look at him, and he back at it. What'd I tell you? It's like a dog porno. Here, take it, man. Take it. Because all I want this dog to do is get off my porch so I can go to work.
That dog is fucking that pillow.
You hear me? See, he don't even care, man. What?
He just loves humping that pillow.
He's over here not helping no damn body, man. Hey, hello, we need help, man. This shit is fucking crazy, man. And it's not even about going. Okay? Damn, motherfucker can help. And then this motherfucker black over here. You talking about white. If we can really zoom in, and I can look, it's a black face. If you can really see, it's a black motherfucker in the bushes. Black motherfucker.
It happened so fast.
Man, this shit is crazy. Get off my porch, you nasty motherfucker. Throwing up and shit. I just swept the porch.
I'm sorry.
Oh, and this nigga laying down, man. Man, call the police, man. Call the police, man.
And the dog just laid there.
Oh, it's great.
That's a big alpha male pit bull.
Oh, yeah. That it probably would fuck him up.
But it said held 3 black men hostage for 2 hours.
Oh, shit.
Do you think that dog, it didn't look like it was angry.
No, but I bet if they went out there and tried to fuck with it, it would just turn around and bite them. It seemed like a alpha male in the fucking thing, shitting, pissing, throwing up all over the porch, fucking the pillow.
Big retarded dog.
Big retarded dog.
Oh, now this nigga laying down on the porch.
Get off my porch!
Where was that, by the way?
I'm not sure.
I think
the city there. Or?
I think that was Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah, it did look like Greenwich. Shit. Motherfucker.
Pitbull rape pillow and hold 3 black man hostage for 2 hours on YouTube for you playing at home.
Is it getting some...
oh, yeah.
It's got like 130,000, yeah.
No, that's doing real well.
That one will do fine.
I want to remind people it's Wednesday, which means it's Opie and Anthony podcast day.
Right.
Go get the latest podcast, number 9. We're up to 9 already.
9. 2 big bits today, I believe.
Yeah, we got that. In my humble opinion, I guess I got to say it that way, that liar, Tucker Max.
Right.
His classic appearance from our show from 6 or 7 years ago, probably. Maybe even longer.
Jesus.
Yeah, he was telling all his, frat stories. He got himself into some wild situations, and he got a book out of it. And the book did really, really well. It was a New York Times bestseller.
Was it?
And we interviewed the guy, and his story just fell apart in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
And we got really uncomfortable.
It's terrible. What an awful story.
And it was good. It was good radio.
The other feature on the podcast is Leonard, the old man celebrating his 50th year working at McDonald's.
Right.
You guys got him on the phone.
Yeah, we did.
You got on
and we wished him, a very good day.
Mm-hmm. Patrice is in that, too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He made you try to call back because he felt bad.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's a bit brutal. And then, of course...
What? The Nugget?
Do we have a third bit?
We do not this week because of timing.
Okay.
We're going to save that third bit.
All right, then.
But we do.
Oh, I know what the third bit is.
Yeah.
We have to wait. Okay.
We just save it for next week.
I gotcha. And then, of course, the Opie and Anthony Nugget.
You don't like the Nugget, Ant?
Hate the Nugget.
Well, come up with a better name, then.
It doesn't need a name.
Point,
it wasn't supposed to be advertised. It was like a secret bonus.
Everything needs a name.
At this point,
it's the Opie and Anthony Nugget, damn it. Just a little nugget.
Nugget. Fucking nugget.
What's this week's?
This week's, it's a news story with a bunch of civilians complaining that they've seen a leprechaun.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
However,
that's classic.
It could be a crackhead.
We gotta get the beer guy eventually. Moo.
Yes.
Moo.
Can we play that into break? Moo.
Yeah, let me find
Moo.
Moo.
No.
That would be a perfect Opie and Anthony Nugget.
Moo.
And maybe next week's Nugget.
Yeah, so go get the Opie and Anthony podcast.
Gotta save it for later.
Yeah, you can't play it now then because if we do, it won't be Nugget worthy.
It won't be Nugget worthy. All right, well, but let's play it now anyway, and then we'll find another Nugget for next week.
It's from Alabama. Alvin Holmes, representative.
Right.
He's the greatest.
Podcast number 9, though. Go get it in all the usual places, please. All right. And for you people that don't have an iPhone, I use Beyond Pod for my podcast.
Beyond Pod.
It's a good app. People ask me all the time.
It's easy.
It's really easy to get our podcast figured out, please. And give us some numbers. Judge Alex Ferrer. Ferrer. I don't know. I think you got to kind of pronounce that E at the end there a little bit more.
No, Ferrer.
Wait, is there an E at the end?
Judge Alex Ferrer.
Maybe it's Ferrer?
Ferrer. Ferrer. So I think you got to go Ferrer.
Like Jose Ferrer.
Ferrari.
You're turning that E into an A a little bit, though. Judge Alex Ferrer.
Ferrer. It's Judge Alex.
Yeah, we know him as Judge Alex. He'll
Judge
be on
Alex.
our show next. But first this, and also the book report from the lovely interns on the way after Judge Alex. So stick around.
Yeah, what's wrong with the beer we got? I mean, the beer we got drank pretty good, don't it? I ain't never heard nobody complain about the beer we have. It drank pretty good. Budweiser. What's the name of some of them other beers? Budweiser and what else? Miller. Coors. It drank pretty good, don't it?
You're listening to Opie and Anthony. Sirius XM. Now, the Opie and Anthony Show continues.
Why ask us? Why ask us then? What happened, Sal?
I came back and the sweeper hit. I was literally running out of time. No one was in there.
You got.
I literally couldn't run fast enough.
Sal comes in. You're back in 30 seconds. You want to stretch a little bit?
Yeah, we
'Cause,
stretch sometimes.
Jimmy's eating and stuff like that a little bit.
And we discuss things and whatever. There's times where we need to stretch a little bit.
So Sal goes a little, like a minute and a half, whatever.
Yeah, he goes, "Hey, you want to stretch?" I go, "Yeah, I guess. Like a minute. Give us one more minute." And then,
and then
10 seconds later,
10 seconds later, we're back. So,
I'm
what
sorry,
happened?
but no, Eric wasn't here. Sam wasn't there. I couldn't communicate to you guys.
Sam and Eric's problem.
Oh, Sam, he's blaming you.
Sam and Eric.
And where is Eric?
He's taking a shit or eating. He's one of the two.
But he just leaves his post?
Yes.
Oh, man.
What would have happened if you didn't step in, Sal?
There would have been dead air.
Oh, you should let it happen.
Yeah. No, I don't want to do that to you guys.
Well, no, it's doing it to you,
Be an improvement to the listeners.
Sal still
let it happen.
Yeah, Sal doesn't understand still.
It'd be helpful to you guys.
Of course it would be. It would give us 20 minutes of radio if all of a sudden, like, we look and, E-Rock's not at his post.
I guess that would have been pretty good, yeah.
Man, that would have been great.
It would have been amazing.
He said, he goes, "You guys want filler?" And you go, "Yeah, a minute." And he goes, "All right, you're back."
That's literally pretty much what
Sam,
happened.
you weren't in there. I couldn't communicate to anybody.
Sam, you weren't in there.
Yeah, but you communicated directly with them. You actually
You did.
You
Yeah.
did communicate to me.
And then
Why do you
by
need
the
a
time
middleman if you just spoke to us?
By the
you were
time I
more
got
efficient.
back, to here, the sweeper hit, and there was nothing I could do about stretching. That's exactly what happened.
So the sweeper hits on its own?
The sweeper hit, and there's nothing we can do about it.
There was nothing we could do.
Does the sweeper hit on its own?
If the filler ends, it's going to hit automatically.
It's on autopilot. It's like that fucking.
Damn.
It's like the.
We're learning we
the
don't-
plane crash.
Yeah, we're learning we don't need E-Rock today.
It was on autopilot, and that's what happened.
So E-Rock's shitting, and he didn't tell anyone to go in there?
No, he said I'm going to go pee. I said okay, and he's been gone for I have no idea how long. He's been gone for 5 minutes.
Unless you're asked to fill in E-Rock's position, you never fill in E-Rock's position. Like, why would you just take the lead like that?
Right?
Just let it, okay.
Let the chips fall where they may.
What's that?
Oh, no, Chip is really working his catchphrase now. Well, you know what? Come on. We got Judge Alex out there. We can't make him wait. He's a busy guy. Should bring him in, huh?
Yeah.
I think he goes... he's all over the place these days. Look at him taking calls. He's on TV shows.
Judge Alex.
Judge Alex, take a seat there.
What's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
With the mic, however you need it. I don't know.
He knows how to work the mic.
Of course he does.
Miles.
Yeah.
How do you say? We were debating how to say your last name. I say Ferrer.
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 I think I might have
You're
won that
right.
one.
Ferrer.
Got to pronounce that E, right,
But
Alex?
it wasn't Jose Ferrer, was it? Or
Yeah, Mel
was?
Ferrer, Jose Ferrer, yeah.
Why am I?
Unless you say
Why
it
am I?
in Spanish.
I was actually hoping that he would go. Oh no, Jim, you're right.
No one ever says that.
No, never. So.
Depending on how long I'm here, that might happen.
Yeah.
When's your TV show on, sir?
Well, it used to be on Fox 5 at 2 p.m. It's syndicated, so it's
Yeah.
on different times and different stations across the country, and they constantly move it, so I'm not really...
What's the big ones you do? Landlord disputes or what?
No.
Just
well, yeah, I mean, actually, everything is small claims. Everything is.
I love small claims. We got sued recently, and I kind of enjoyed just sitting there waiting for our turn because there was some weird shit going down that day.
It is fun to watch.
It was a lot of
something
fun
to watch.
The cases come up, but
And it's over nonsense. It's over like a few bucks.
Yeah,
Why bother?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of times it's about the principle of the thing. I mean, I had a woman who sued for $46. And she spent $70 in legal fee in clerk fees.
And clerk fees.
She would be entitled to them back if she asked for them, but she never even asked for them. She didn't care about the $70.
She just wanted to say, I was right.
She wanted somebody to tell this person that they were wrong.
Yeah.
And, a lot of them are very personal. I mean, the public doesn't care about IBM and Microsoft being in some antitrust suit or something like that. What they care about is, like, I had a woman who, her friend came to her and said, don't spend $2,000 on a photographer for your wedding. I could do it for half of that. I'll do it for $1,000. So she said, okay. She paid her $1,000, and then she's getting out of the limo, pulling her train of her dress behind her, and looks up to see her friend snapping pictures of her with those little yellow disposable cameras you pull out of the dollar cameras from the bin, the discount bin. And she had a bag hanging from her arm with about 12 more of them.
And that's how she was going to photograph the wedding.
That was a $1,000 photographer there.
$1,000. Wow. Sometimes you get what you pay for, though. Yeah, you're getting screwed.
It's amazing the interest people have in the legal system, though. Like I guess it started with the People's Court, and then went to who was after that, like Judge Judy. But people or Joe Brown, and people are fascinated. But I think it's what prevents people from hitting each other is the fact they can go to court. It's a way of.
Well, I mean that is why we have court. I mean, so we resolve the disputes in some civilized manner,
pounding each other,
as opposed to dueling.
Yeah. Whenever we have these big cases, like of course the Zimmerman trial going on right now, people seem to want to get involved. They want to watch the trial, but they don't seem to want to get all the facts.
No.
I've seen, especially with the Casey Anthony trial, of course, and this trial, people have very strong opinions based a lot on emotion, not many facts of the case, and education on the judicial system.
It's not limited to court system. I mean, with social media, somebody says something and everybody accepts it as true, and then they repeat it, and then they amplify it, and it's like a global game of telephone, and it completely changes, and it's gospel, all the way through.
There have been some things that were brought up that were just plain lies, rumor. Things that were thought to be fact at the beginning of the investigation, and now as it's evidence in court being presented, it was found that was completely false, yet people are still repeating it, and you can't tell them different.
Right. Well, I think originally George Zimmerman, when he called the police, said that when he was describing Trayvon, he said it's somewhere between 5'11", 6'2".
Right.
Well, forever Trayvon was 6'2".
6'2", and then we find out he was 5'11".
Right? Yeah. I mean, he nailed the height pretty well.
He actually did. Yeah. What's the one thing that you've noticed in social media? Because I see on Twitter a lot with this case that people just plain have wrong. The one that just keeps coming up that you're like, my God, how many times?
I mean, everybody. If you depending on which camp you're in, those they're the extremists on the George Zimmerman side that are like, absolutely did nothing wrong. There's no way that he could have done anything that was improper in this case when they don't really know. Nobody knows what happened at the time of the confrontation.
Sure.
I mean, we have George's version, but obviously George has a reason to be biased on that. And then you've got the other side, which is absolutely no self-defense. I don't care how many times you beat it on the concrete. It doesn't matter. He approached him. He got out of the car. He should never have done that. And he's a racist.
Right.
And then you have the ones in the middle who are really, I have friends who seesaw back and forth. They hear this piece of evidence. They hear that piece of evidence. They're going back and forth.
The smarter ones who are waiting it as it happens.
Right. Well, they're not trying to justify a position, which is what the others are doing. The others have made up their mind, and whatever evidence comes in, if it's good for them, that was great, credible evidence of court. And if it wasn't good for them, that guy was clearly lying.
So they're basically asses.
And they will.
Jimmy's still trying to get me to say I agree with you.
Yes.
So I think that the racist part is the part that I think a lot of people have gotten wrong. I mean, I don't know George Zimmerman. Maybe he is a raging racist, but so far the evidence seems to be, and even the detective got on the stand and said, listen, when I found out that this guy was mentoring African American children, I realized, come on, this guy isn't a racist. I mean, and he went in front of the county commission at one point about a cop's son who beat up a black homeless man,
right,
and berated the police department about it, and then went out and tried to fundraise for this black homeless person. Those are not the typical things that racists do.
Unless you're the most clever rast ever, and you're padding your reputation before you do this.
And I think that's a problem with the claim of racist. It spans somebody who is KKK,
right,
to somebody whose neighborhood has been burglarized by just a stream of African American individuals, and so therefore the next time he sees an African American individual, he must be racially profiling.
Right.
And it's a very broad spectrum.
It really is. Yeah. There's no volume knob on it. It's one extreme to the other.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't have any problem with the fact that race was injected into this case at the outset. I think to ignore the possibility when you have a white male who calls in about a black male who wasn't doing anything, it's right to say, well, I wonder if this was racially motivated, because we do live in a racist society, and there is a lot of racism. But When you don't find evidence of it, then it's time to say, okay, maybe I was wrong.
Move along.
Some people will never say they were wrong when it comes to that claim.
Do you know?
And some people will never see racism even when it exists.
Why did the press? I mean, we all know why, but they go with he's Spanish and he's white. But they just refuse to go with the other angle. The white angle is just so much juicier. It seems.
By the way, what am I?
Yeah.
I've gotten this question a million times, and I used to think that white was a race and Hispanic was an ethnicity. But I think somewhere along the line that changed, and I didn't really get the memo on it because when people tell me, like, you're not white. And we have black Cubans and white Cubans. I'm Cuban. So I'm not really sure. I guess it doesn't matter now.
Yeah. What is it? What do you check in the little box when you have to
when
check?
they give me a choice for Hispanic, I check Hispanic.
Okay.
But when you typically, I'm thinking from my police days. In my police days, if you were describing somebody, it was you didn't. If you were black, you were black. If you were white, you were white. And that was for identification purposes, because if the other police officer needed to try to find him, we're looking for a white male or we're looking for a black male. You can be Hispanic and be noticeably Hispanic. I don't think I fall into that category, although some people confuse me for Middle Eastern or I don't know what. But
Maybe
I never
Jewish.
really...
A little Jewish,
A little
too.
Jewish, I guess. Okay. Well, I do know the prayer of the bread and the prayer of the wine because
Sure, there you go.
I grew up Catholic, but I'm hedging my bets in case my parents are wrong. But anyway, so this is a very high tension case. This is not like Casey Anthony, because in Casey Anthony everybody was pretty much united behind the fact that she killed her daughter.
Now that's an interesting case and I followed that one like I'm following this one, and as I watched it very closely, I did not see the prosecution present a case where she could be convicted.
Wow, you would have fit right in on that jury.
I did, yeah, right. I just didn't see it.
I don't know what expectation the jury had. That was a circumstantial evidence case. This is a circumstantial evidence case. Okay, but that was a circumstantial evidence case, but it was a powerful circumstantial evidence case. I mean, you had a 2-year-old girl, 2 or 3, I don't remember now, 3, I think, approaching her 3rd birthday. 3-year-old girl whose body is found in 2 bags in the woods with duct tape that was clearly positioned over her mouth and nose before her body decomposed, because it was still attached to the hair on the side of her head. The 1 strand of duct tape would have been enough to cover her nose and mouth. She had 2 strands overlapping each other and 1 diagonal across the face. Mom never reports her missing, ever. Would never have reported her missing if grandmother hadn't called the police. Okay. The day she disappears, that we know she disappears, Mom goes out to see her boyfriend. They start whooping it up. She enters these hot body contests. She goes, get tattoos and stuff like this. Okay. Mom's car smells like a decomposing human body. Okay. Alerted on to by cadaver dogs and, the guy called Dr. Death, who's Dr. Voss, who runs the body farm in Tennessee and knows more about decomposing human bodies, the smell of it, the composition of it, than anybody in the world. Okay. And then when she is confronted with this, Mom lies. Mom makes up stories about the nanny took her from me at the park. The nanny took her to take care of her and then didn't give her back to me. I didn't call the police because I was doing this manhunt on my own. When you add all these things up, it's like, no, you killed her. Now it's a circumstantial evidence case, but a lot of cases are circumstantial evidence case. So I think it was a very powerful case. And then Mother's response, her theory, makes no sense, because if you take the whole drowning theory, what you're saying is, now remember, Casey Anthony's father and mother were like doting grandparents over Kaylee. I mean, they built her a little playground in the backyard. There was all the evidence was they absolutely adored her. So what Jose Baez was asking this jury to believe, which I guess apparently they did, was that this grandfather, 'cause the story was Casey wakes up and she goes out and father says, "Where's Kaylee?" And they go looking for her body, and looking for her. They find, and the father finds her body in the pool and says, "Look what you did. You're going to go to prison for the rest of your life for child neglect." Okay, if you believe that, then that means Dad, who is a former police officer and knows, like I know, that tragic accidents like this happen all the time, and nobody's going to prison. It's sad. It's tragic. It happens. Nonetheless. He takes the body of his granddaughter, who he loves so much, and throws it out into the woods to be basically eaten up by animals to protect his daughter, Casey, who's not going to go to prison, but because he loves her so much. Yet, when she gets charged wrongfully with the murder of her child, and he knows she didn't murder the child, she drowned in the pool, it's an accident, he doesn't come forward and say, "No, it's an accident, we should have called," and all this stuff. He just lets her sit in jail for 3 years. She never raises his defense until the day of opening statement. She sat in jail for 3 years when she could have walked, for the drowning. And he lets her sit there and go through a trial where she might be put in the death chamber.
And also the duct tape, too. Why was the duct tape there if she drowned? Who duct tapes a dead body?
To make it look like a murder. People try to make murders look like accidents. They don't try to make accidents look like murders. So
why weren't you the prosecutor on this?
Yeah,
that was
summed that up pretty nicely.
Pretty good summation.
Yeah. That was my closing argument.
That was your closing argument right there.
They couldn't prove that she drowned, right?
No, they couldn't.
Yeah, of course.
They
didn't really have a cause of death.
What the fuck was the jury listening?
Well, did they overcharge her with, was the problem they could not convict her of murder, or it could have been an accidental death?
They got instructed on manslaughter.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. What happened was people said, "Well, you shouldn't have gone for the death penalty." Well, the jury had options. They didn't have to go with murder 1. They could have gone with murder 2. They could have gone with manslaughter. They just weren't. We see it all the time. As a judge, I see jurors who do not want to convict. I had a woman who was shot 5 times in the back by her husband. Witnesses saw it. She lived, mind you. I would have been stuck with a pencil and I would have died of lead poisoning. She gets shot 5 times in the back, and she lives and comes to testify. And the witnesses testified that he put on no defense. His lawyer, basically in closing, got up and said, "My client didn't shoot her. Her new boyfriend shot her." Now, first of all, there was no evidence there was a new boyfriend. He had been beating her their whole marriage, and she said, "I had enough," and she moved out. 2 weeks later, he says, "Come on, let's talk about this." So she met him to talk about it, and he shot her 5 times in the back.
Wow.
So there was no evidence there was a boyfriend, let alone that the boyfriend shot her, and the jury walked her. And the prosecutor went out to the jurors outside and said, "Can you please tell me why you found him not guilty?" And they said, which is very interesting because it's similar to the jurors in the Casey Anthony case, they said, "We thought there was something else going on behind the scenes that we didn't get to see." Really? I mean, if that isn't rank speculation, and the jurors in the Casey Anthony case said, we thought George was involved in some way. Never mind the fact that there was no evidence of George's involvement. There are some jurors who, one, don't have it in them to say guilty and look for any excuse to say not guilty. And there are 2, jurors see crime shows on television, and crime shows never end the way you think they will. Jimmy, it's Jimmy, it's Jimmy. No, it's Opie. At the end. So they sit there and they look like, okay, I see all the evidence you've given me here. Yeah, it sure looks like it's Jimmy, but I can solve this. I know I can figure it out.
They don't believe that 1 + 1 is 2 because the crime shows are always telling them something different.
Right. Well, they're looking for the twist.
So you see the jury get it wrong a lot, then, huh?
It happens.
What's the percentage?
I don't know. But I mean, it shouldn't happen, but it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
way more than it should.
The thing I saw with the Casey Anthony thing was I didn't have a story. I didn't have the prosecution presenting me with a viable timeline of what happened and all right, she did this, here's how the kid died and when the kid died and here's where it was a little ramshackle, and that's why I was like, I don't think they got it here.
Well, but there's no one, when you get instructed on the law, one of the instructions is not there has to be a timeline. One of the instructions is not you have to know the motive. You don't have to know the motive. She could kill her daughter because she wants to be free. She could kill her daughter because she's angry at her mom. She could kill her daughter for a lot of reasons. And the prosecution can never prove motive unless the defendant gives it to her. By telling somebody or they can piece it together by other evidence, because they can't crawl into the defendant's mind, and the defendant has a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, so they can't force the defendant to tell them why they did something.
Why they would do something or not.
That's why it's not an element of the crime. All you have to prove is that she murdered her daughter beyond a reasonable doubt. So we have, their defense made a lot about, they don't have cause of death. They don't have the cause of death. They have the manner of death because the medical examiner testified that it was a homicide. Mm-hmm. But they didn't have cause. Was she strangled? Was she shot? Was she poisoned? They don't have that. But you don't need that. I mean, there are people who are prosecuted when you don't even find the body.
Right.
If you don't find the body, how are you going to prove cause of death?
Yeah.
You know? So, the question isn't that. The question is, after you've looked at all the evidence, has the state proven that this person killed this person?
But at least, even if you don't have a body, something like before they found Lacey Peterson's body.
Right. They were prosecuting before.
Yeah, they were. Exactly. And they had some type of timeline where it's like, okay, look, she's here this day. He goes fishing. She disappears. Like, it makes more sense than this very spread out. And I know you don't say they don't have a timeline.
They did have a timeline in the sense that it was Father's Day. Kaylee and Casey were together with George, the father. And then that was the last time they were seen together. And then they had the timeline of her living with her boyfriend the next day, telling everybody, Casey is with her nanny or Casey's with her grandma. She'd tell the boyfriend Casey's with grandma, and she'd tell the grandma Casey's with the nanny.
I understand what you're saying there.
That timeline.
Here's what I'm thinking. The jurors,
you want a boat and the ocean involved.
The thing is, you can imagine. A juror can sit there and imagine, all right, there is Scott Peterson. He's in the boat. We don't know anything yet, but he rented a boat. He went fishing. He took the boat out. They could picture that scene. The body's in there. He's tossing it over.
Right.
You can know that from what happened. With the Casey Anthony thing, there was nothing like, I'm picturing her drowning the kid. I'm picturing her strangling the child. There was not that moment that put in the juror's mind her killing the child. And I think that's very important.
Well, that's true of most circumstantial evidence cases. It's ideal.
Really?
It's ideal if you have somebody who says, I saw it, and then you're just evaluating their credibility. And then that's direct evidence. And then when you're piecing evidence together, you're building inferences. This inference goes on this inference, and then, if you build it strong enough, you overcome reasonable doubt. You can never overcome all doubt.
All doubt, right.
No, because the only way to overcome all doubt is for the jurors to have seen it themselves.
And a confession.
And at that, even then, because it comes in and goes, look, they promised me if I confessed, or they beat me, or they turned the recorder off and they threatened me, or whatever. So the only way you can overcome all doubt is if you saw it yourself. And if you saw it yourself, you couldn't be a juror because you're a witness. So, the standard is reasonable doubt.
And didn't in the Peterson case, wasn't there a strand of hair found in the boat, and he lied and said that she had never been in the boat, and that was one of the things that got him convicted, was a strand of her hair found in that boat. And
I think it was on a block that was in the boat, or some cement.
Oh, it was something in the boat. Okay.
Yeah, there was like cement dust and red.
With her shoes in it.
Yeah. Well, but I want to get to the Zimmerman case because that's the one that is huge right now. What do you think? Defense, prosecution. Who do you think's scoring more points here? Where do you see it going?
First of all, let's start about this as a tragic case. You have an unarmed 17-year-old who's killed, and that is horrible. And we in the justice system see cases all the time where they are tragic, and in a lot of those cases, unfortunately, the prosecution can't make a case. They just can't. The prosecutors get whatever evidence exists. They can't fabricate it. They can't make it. They can't improve it. They're stuck with the witnesses they get. Some of the witnesses are Rachel Jean Tell, the girl who's on the phone with Trayvon, and some of the witnesses are Dr. DeMaio, who testified yesterday. You have a whole range of witnesses, and the prosecution is married to them. Whatever they are, they are. However they behave, they behave. So that being said, this is a case that the prosecution has had difficulty with it from the beginning. At first, I was really tough on the prosecution. I still am in some respects because some of the things they've done, but it's I think a case where it's become clear to me that the reason this case wasn't brought originally was not because of racial bias. It was because there simply isn't enough evidence.
You thought that the police on scene, when they initially investigated, just didn't have enough.
Well, first of all, let's start with the police on scene. A lot of people say, well, he should have been arrested immediately. Well, no, because Florida does have a stand your ground law, which does provide immunity from prosecution and things like that if certain elements are satisfied. Well, this exact scenario happened in Miami, where it was an African-American male who shot actually his friends, 3 white males, and killed them. And when the police arrived, he said self-defense. They were attacking me. I had to stand my ground. And the police didn't, like in Zimmerman case, really did not have anything to dispute it. So they did not arrest him. And then weeks or maybe months later, they pieced together through, like in the Zimmerman case, they went out and they canvassed and all this stuff. They pieced together evidence that he was lying about acting in self-defense, and they went back and they arrested him. But that's another scenario that shows, the police have to worry about civil lawsuits.
Sure.
If they arrest somebody without probable cause, then they're subject to being sued. If they arrest them with probable cause and it turns out the person's not guilty, it's okay. You had probable cause. But if the person is presenting a defense and you have nothing to dispute it, you don't have probable cause to arrest them.
Right.
So originally, that whole outcry about the fact that it was racially motivated, while certainly something that should be looked into, because like I said, I have no problem with people looking into the racial motivations. That being said, it appears more and more that this was not prosecuted for the right reason, which is, unfortunately, as much as you'd like to have the evidence, if you don't, then as a prosecutor, you have an ethical obligation not to bring a case that you cannot prove.
Do you think that the guys you talked about in Miami who were shot, the cops went out, they found some additional evidence, and they arrested him? And in this case, they arrested him later, but do you think that was more due to public pressure or the fact that they found something that made them doubt his story?
I'm suspecting that it was more due to public pressure. There are inconsistencies in George Zimmerman's testimony. There are clear inconsistencies. There are things I flat out don't believe him on.
What don't you believe him on?
Yeah. Well, I don't believe he went out to look for a street sign. I believe he was following Trayvon to find out where he was going. I think that I believe that he was fed up with the fact that these burglars keep getting away. Our neighborhood keeps getting broken into. We started a neighborhood watch. We call the police when we see somebody who seems out of place. And when the police get here, the person's already disappeared.
Right.
So this time I'm going to watch him and see where he goes. So when the police come, I can say he's right behind that bush.
There he is.
You're right. And I think that's what happened is he went out of the car and the dispatcher told him, you don't need to do that. That's not a police order. I mean, deal with the things that are emotional to the public. They say, well, he shouldn't have been following them. Well, you can follow anybody you want.
That's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have.
If I see somebody leaving your house and come out through the window, and I call the police and I say, hey, my
There's
friend,
a 13-year-old girl.
Right. My friend Anthony's date from last night just crawled out the window, and so I follow this guy, and I'm calling 911, and they're sending units or whatever. They're going to tell me not to follow him.
Sure.
Because they don't. If this guy is a serious criminal, they don't want me to get killed.
It's for your safety, for the most part, right?
Or I could make a mistake and misinterpret things, and the person might not be up to anything, and I could end up killing him, like may have happened in this case. Police officers are trained in shoot, don't shoot scenarios, and we make mistakes. And so imagine civilians who aren't trained in shoot, don't shoot scenarios. So, also, they don't want to be liable, and that's what this dispatcher testified to in this case. He said, look, we tell them not to follow because if we tell them go ahead and follow and they get injured, we get sued. So we tell them not to follow, and if they follow, they follow, but it's on them. So he goes ahead and follows them, and I think he makes up the story later because he thinks, oh my God, they told me not to follow, and he makes up the story about going to see a street sign.
Right.
The reality is, he didn't commit any crime by following.
Right.
There's no evidence that he went running up to Trayvon swinging a bat or even swinging a fist. There's no evidence that he was the aggressor in that sense. Now, people want to say, well, he was the aggressor because he followed. That doesn't make you an aggressor.
It doesn't make you an aggressor.
I could walk up to somebody in the street and say, what are you doing in my neighborhood? And they could tell me to go pound sand. But I haven't committed a crime, and neither have they.
Until someone gets hit.
Now, somebody throws a punch, now you've got a crime. And so I disagree with him on that. So as far as the case is concerned, the prosecution, I believe, does not. Well, first of all, they haven't proven the second-degree murder. They just have
not at all.
Now, that's not to say a jury won't convict of second, because just like they can acquit Casey Anthony, they can acquit him. It's just a question of whether it would survive on appeal, and I don't think it would survive on appeal. The remaining issues are manslaughter, which is just as bad as second-degree murder for him, because manslaughter in Florida is a second-degree felony. The maximum for a second-degree murder is life. The maximum for manslaughter in Florida is 15 years, but because you use a firearm, it goes up one level and becomes a 30-year felony.
Right.
So maximum is 30. Okay.
I was looking at manslaughter, the manslaughter statutes in Florida with the justification. It doesn't even seem like manslaughter fits this, based on what I've seen in
Which one are you looking
at? Manslaughter. Manslaughter 1.
Well, there are different versions of manslaughter in Florida. There's what's called manslaughter by culpable negligence, which is a culpable negligence is a greater level of negligence. If you are negligent and you kill somebody, you don't get criminally prosecuted, because negligence is like I'm driving down the street and I look down at the radio to change the station, I accidentally blow a red light. Mm-hmm. If I T-bone a car and somebody dies, I'm not going to get prosecuted. I'm going to get sued, but I won't get prosecuted because I didn't have a criminal state of mind. And I can tell you the different degrees of murder if it clarifies it, but basically that's negligence. Culpable negligence is a higher standard of negligence. For example, DUI. That's why they get prosecuted. They got behind the wheel of a car drunk. They didn't intend to hurt anybody. They weren't doing any act out of ill will, hatred, or spite. They just did something that was so negligent. If I put a target in a lake, in the middle of the lake behind a house, and I start shooting at it and really don't even think about the fact there are other houses on the other side.
Right.
I don't have a criminal intent. I don't intend to shoot anybody. I'm not angry at anybody, but it was such a gross negligence that the bullet going through the target and killing somebody subjects me to manslaughter. So that's culpable negligence manslaughter.
Do you think that does not
apply in this case?
I don't think that applies either, right?
I mean, I guess an argument could have been made had they charged it this way. An argument could have been made that, getting out and following a 17-year-old boy in the dark, in the rain, armed with a gun, culpable negligence. I don't think that would do it, but at least there are things the prosecution is arguing in this case that are worse than that.
Yeah, and there's no argument here that he didn't pull the gun out. He meant to pull the gun out and shoot him.
This is an intentional act.
He wasn't like, I meant to shoot the bird over here, and I
accidentally hit him.
He meant to shoot him.
Right. But there's another negligence, which is basically, another manslaughter, which is basically an unjustifiable killing. Mm-hmm. So my look at this case is, if the jury rejects self-defense, if they feel that he shot Trayvon without justification because it was not a reasonable fear of death or serious bodily injury, then the default is manslaughter.
Okay, right.
So that's the one that
he could
It really
get.
all hinges on self-defense.
Now, personally, with the evidence you've seen so far, before the closing arguments and whatnot, what do you think? Do you think he falls into that? Do you think he proved? Do you think his side showed enough to say to the jurors that this was self-defense?
The only way I can answer that is yes and no, because it's up to the jury to decide what's reasonable. What's reasonable to me or to you or anybody else doesn't matter.
From what you've seen, does it seem reasonable that he was in fear of his life?
I would say that from what I've seen, a jury could certainly say, yes, he did he fear. There's two prongs. One, was he in fear of either death or serious bodily injury? And or serious bodily injury is an important part, because you don't have to fear you're going to die, but you can fear that you're going to suffer serious bodily injury. And if the jury believes him that Trayvon's on top of him, punching at him, hitting his head on the concrete, and Dr. DeMaio was very helpful in that for the defense yesterday, because he said, look, those little cuts on the back of the head are not serious, but they're indicators of a serious strike against the pavement or a hard surface that could cause, and he described what could happen. You could have brain bleeding, you could have you could get a cracked skull. In fact, he said the police should have taken him to the ER, because had he died at the police station, the department would have been sued and they would have lost. Because you knew he had a head injury. Head injuries are very dangerous, and you didn't take him to get checked out. He said, and his words were, he had two phrases. One was, with a head injury like that, you take him to the ER, no questions asked. Well, that puts it in the context of the jury. The second thing he said was, concrete doesn't yield. If you strike your head against concrete, your head yields. That was an interesting quote.
That's a good one, too, yeah.
He was a great witness, right?
He was. He was a fantastic
really believable.
And don't forget, we also learned you could live without your heart for 15 seconds.
That
creeped me out.
I wouldn't recommend proving that.
Yeah. Wow. I thought it was many years longer by this room.
They said even if it's pulled out of your chest, you will live for another 10 or 15 seconds.
Right.
Talk and walk. Oh, my God.
And he said that he had a case where a guy took a shotgun blast to the heart, and his heart was completely shredded. Wow. And he ran, I don't remember if he said 65 feet or 65 yards, but he said before collapsing.
Wow, man, that's something.
I'll guess feet.
Gotta think feet.
Do you believe, by the way, you talk about what's believable, what's not believable, do you believe, I don't buy Zimmerman's "you're going to die tonight," and the way he said he saw him reaching for I think he's saying what he thinks is legally getting him off.
First of all, a lot's been said about Trayvon's fighting history and stuff like that. Could he have said that? Yeah. Is it likely in my experience? No, in my experience, the people who say things like that are not 17-year-olds who've never been to jail. They're guys who've been to prison 3 times for armed robbery. You know, they say things like that. The going for the gun, I really don't buy that either. But he doesn't need that. I mean, he's trying, again, it's an example of trying to strengthen his self-defense claim. I don't believe it because his gun was on an interior holster against his body near the back in the dark. I just don't see Trayvon going for it. I think what happened is Trayvon was punching him, was hitting him, and I don't know why. Maybe Trayvon is cocky. Maybe Trayvon just likes to fight. Maybe Trayvon was scared. Maybe George Zimmerman walked up to him with his gun in his hand to kind of say like, hey, you know what? Don't mess with me because I'm armed. You know, because he doesn't know if this guy's a burglar or not. So he may have walked up with the gun in his hand, or he may have pulled the jacket back and flashed it. And if he had the gun in his hand, I could very well see Trayvon going, this crazy cracker, cracker is going to kill me. And jump him to try to get the gun away.
Wouldn't that remove self-defense completely, though? Doesn't that count as upping the aggression if your gun is out?
Yeah, yes. But you have to prove it.
No,
the prosecution has to.
Now, don't get me wrong. That is complete speculation on my part. I'm just talking about reasons why Trayvon might jump him.
But people absolutely hear things like that and believe, just because it can be that has to be something that needs to be considered in this case.
Right now, I'm sure that on my Twitter, people are posting, Judge Alex says that Zimmerman pulled his gun and pointed it. I know.
Have fun with that, too.
So in any event, there are a lot of things that could have happened. And this is where I think the public misses the point, and I can understand why, because they're acting from emotion, and those of us who work in the judicial system are used to not acting from emotion, but acting from an analysis of what the elements of the crime are in the law. And then, of course, that makes you seem like you're really cold-hearted and don't care. But it doesn't really matter what could have happened. What matters is what the police can prove happened, because the police are trying to take away somebody's liberty, and in order to do that, they have to prove the elements of a crime. And the elements of a crime are very specific. The elements of a crime are like the ingredients for a cake. You know, if you leave out one, you don't have the cake. You know, and if you order a lemon meringue cake from me and I leave out the lemon, you did not.
Oh, that's a crime in itself.
You didn't get what you ordered, and that is the way the elements of a crime are looked at. You know, if you have to prove ill will, hatred, spite, and evil intent, and you do not have evidence of that, you do not have second-degree murder.
Right.
No matter how much people at home go like, "What are you talking about? He killed him. It should be something more than whatever."
And that's what you get in a lot of these tweets from people.
And it's understandable because it is a horrible crime. Look, my mother lost 2 children, but both of my brothers are dead. I know what it's like for a parent to lose a child. It is a hole that is never completely filled, and it is a gaping wound for a very long time. So I sympathize with the family completely. But we're talking about what is legal in the justice system. Right. You know, we have a justice system because, you know, you remember in the Wild West days, you know, people would go with the torches and pitchforks over to the
put a rope over a branch.
Exactly. And pull people out. And, you know, we're not waiting for the justice system. So for that reason, we have a justice system that is not always going to give the result you want, i.e. Casey Anthony. But it doesn't promise you anything. It doesn't guarantee you a guilty of people you think are guilty or a not guilty of people you think are not guilty. What it guarantees you is that the prosecution and the defense will get a fair opportunity, each of them, to present their evidence to the people they picked. That they get a panel. It's a random panel. They pick the people they want from that random panel, and they get to present their case to those people, not to us. We haven't been screened for biases or prejudices.
Sure.
Those people have. So they present it to them and let the chips fall where they may. They say guilty or not guilty. It's a process that you're guaranteed, not a result.
Now, the thing is, with a self-defense case like this, especially when the police initially deemed this self-defense, why should someone have to take the chance on a jury when this shouldn't have been brought in the first place?
Well, that's the reason.
And I hear a lot of people say, well, we need justice for Trayvon. We need this should be looked at. Not all things should have to go to trial.
That is the point I was making before, that the prosecution has an ethical obligation not to bring a case they can't prove.
Right.
And the reason for that is, if you can't prove it, then we have the beyond a reasonable doubt standard for a reason, and that is because we don't want to convict people who are innocent. Innocent either because they were justified, like, it's hard to say innocent and get people to get it when you've got a situation like this. But, the example I give when I'm talking to people sometimes is if you get up in the middle of the night, you hear a noise, you grab a gun and you shoot somebody who's coming through your window at home, and it turns out that your daughter called her boyfriend and said, I left the window open, come over. You just killed a 16-year-old kid who was unarmed and wasn't doing anything. But you're still not guilty. I mean, you had a reasonable perception under the circumstances, okay?
Yeah.
So that the jury, the reason for the reasonable doubt standard is beyond a reasonable doubt is to make sure that innocent people, whether it's this case or any other case, do not go to prison. We bend over backwards to make sure that doesn't happen. So incumbent upon that is that the prosecution not bring a case that they can't prove beyond every reasonable doubt, because there is the risk, especially in emotional cases like this, that a jury will disregard the reasonable doubt standard and convict on emotion.
Right.
If they do, there are safeguards. The court can set aside a conviction. They can't set aside an acquittal, but they can set aside a conviction if it's against the manifest weight of the evidence. The appeals court can throw it out, but you can't bank on that.
Right.
You can have an innocent person. We've seen innocent people who lately have been, exonerated after many, many years. I mean, how'd you like to give up 20 years of your life to find out, oh, yeah, we were wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Here's a couple $100,000 that'll make up for 20 years of your life.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you think they will allow the pictures into evidence from the cell phone and the information about...
I don't think so.
Texts.
I don't think so. And legally, it is not supposed to come in. It's certainly not supposed to come in that way. The prosecution, if the defense, the character evidence of a witness, rarely comes into evidence, but when it does come into evidence, there are two different types. One is it's an element of the crime. Those are rare. The character of the victim is an element of the crime. The other is that it supports a defense or a claim in the case. This is where that would go to. In other words, text messages of Trayvon that he's fighting and that he said, I didn't hurt this guy so much, I only broke his nose, certainly support George Zimmerman's claim that this is what happened. He attacked me and he was beating on me and all this stuff. The problem is that legally, you're not allowed to prove a victim's character by specific acts of conduct, like he fought before. And the reason for that is because everybody's done something in their past. So you can always bring up, a year, Jimmy's accused of beating me up, and I can bring up that a year ago he got in a bar fight. And the jury goes, what a coincidence. You're accused of beating him up, and you were in a bar fight last. Well, everybody's done something in their past.
When you're claiming self-defense, doesn't the victim also become the perpetrator in that essence?
In every situation like this, the person claims self-defense. If they can't claim that it wasn't them, right? Because the first defense is it wasn't me. It's the Shaggy defense, right? If they can't claim that, then they claim, it was me, but I had to do it.
Right.
Okay. So you can put in evidence of Jimmy's character for violence, but you have to do it by reputation. And the reason is because reputation is broader. It's not a specific act or whatever, or two acts. Okay. He has a reputation for violence. And to do that, you call friends who know, or people who know his reputation. May not be friends, but people who know his reputation and say, yes, I've known Jimmy and I've known him for years. And in the community, he has a reputation that he's a violent individual.
I would have thought just the opposite, by the way. I would have thought that's all like hearsay and the specific acts are more, are more provable. I would have thought totally the opposite.
Yeah, you would, except that in a weighing analysis, the specific acts are incidents that don't necessarily speak to your character. Anybody can be a good person and fly off the handle one day.
Right, one day you're like, kill you, son of a bitch. Yeah.
As opposed to this person is a violent person and all this stuff. So I don't think it's coming in.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what she'll do because I've disagreed with some of her rulings down the line here. So I don't think it's coming in, but
has she leaned more for the prosecution or the defense as far as her decisions go?
Well, she definitely hasn't leaned for the defense. Let's put it out. But I can't say she's leaning for the prosecution. I think it comes off that way sometimes. If you remember in the Casey Anthony case, Belvin Perry, the judge, he looked like he was hated Jose Baez.
Right.
And it may be because he might hate Jose Baez. Because I was hating Jose Baez and I wasn't the judge on the case. Because he would ask leading questions, objection, leading question again. And he did that from the beginning of the trial to the end of the trial. And the jury seemed to learn what a leading question was, but he never seemed to get it. So when you're a judge, when you're a judge, that gets to you. I mean, you get, and plus, I thought in that case he was way over his head. It was a death penalty case, and this woman's life was on the line. And you have to worry about, and I don't know that he did this at all. I'm just saying, you as a judge, you worry. Is this person taking the case for the publicity when they don't have the ability to try a case of this magnitude?
Right, yeah.
And could this person end up in the death chamber
because this guy just he doesn't know what he's doing?
So I could see why Belvin Perry was angry with him. And people would say, oh, well, he rules more for the prosecution than the defense. Well, yeah, that's because the defense is wrong all the time because he doesn't seem to know what he's doing, you know? Every time you ask a question, you're leading. Every time the prosecution says objection, the judge is going to say sustained. And there's no, oh, wait a minute, I ruled 5 times for the prosecution, so I got to rule 5 times for the defense. That's not, if the defense is wrong, they're wrong.
Right,
you know?
It's not like...
So I could see where sometimes the perception is, oh, this judge always rules for the prosecution, so therefore she hates the defense. In this case, it does seem a little personal, and I think it might be maybe because he started with that stupid knock-knock joke.
Oh, boy.
And then they had that picture circulating with his daughter and him eating ice cream and said, that beats stupid. Although it was publicized after the Rachel Jean-Tell testimony.
Right.
My understanding was I read that it had actually been posted
before
after the opening statements.
Right.
The fact that his daughter would do that, like, how dumb are you?
Well, you're 20-something, and
I saw one of your tweets where it was there was some kind of little altercation going on in the court, and you're like, control your courtroom.
Oh, I was furious.
Like, control, because there were a lot of instances back and forth. What kind of job do you think?
It was Dr. Bowles' testimony.
Yes.
She would
God.
That witness needed, she needed to, what I would have done was I would have excused the jury very politely.
Okay.
And then I would have read him the riot. I would have ripped into him and said, this is not your courtroom, this is my courtroom, you answer the question that's asked. And then, progressively, I would have done it in front of the jury. I mean, I would have done it in private because I don't want to, I don't want the jury thinking I'm angry at this witness unless I really need to send that message. So I would do it outside the presence. If he continued to do that, I'd start admonishing him in front of the jury. Saying, answer the question. I don't want to hear another word other than yes or no. And then but I would have done the same to the lawyers. I mean, the lawyers were, though I said control your courtroom, I meant everybody. This witness was a train wreck. I mean, he was a train wreck.
Oh, man, was he bad.
For example, Don West, he would, he'd ask the question, and this witness would not answer the question, but turn to what looked like his manifesto that he wanted to read to the jury, and he'd
didn't want anyone else reading.
Right. My notes, you can't have them. So he would turn to that and start going off on a tangent. What Don West should have done then is not interrupt with another question, because that then led the prosecutor to get up and say, Judge, he's not letting him answer the question. And you have this free-for-all. What Don West should have done is, objection, Your Honor, non-responsive. And that's when she should then rule, you need to answer the question. If the prosecution wants to get that out, they will ask you that question. You need to answer the questions that's asked.
It seems very difficult at times for a lawyer to keep his composure, because there's things going on where, as a human being, it looks like they literally want to punch people in the face. And
it's very high tension. I've had lawyers punch each other in the face.
You've had lawyers punch each other.
I've had lawyers go into the jury room and punch each other in the face.
Duke it out.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask, would you have liked to seen George Zimmerman testify?
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? What are you going to say next?
Right.
You've given this version, this version, this version.
Right.
Now, granted, the inconsistencies I don't think were significant. I mean, people do, people do change their testimony a little bit because, number one, they fill in blanks in their head. And number two, they want to make themselves look better. They may not have done anything illegal, but like I said about the sign, even if he didn't think he did anything illegal, he might be going, gee, I wonder if I was supposed to do that. No, I went out to look for a sign.
Yeah,
well, that's lying.
Better.
Right. And of course, the jury then the prosecution's entitled to say to the jury, look, if he lied about that, he could have lied about everything else.
Right.
The problem is that's great if you're the defense, because that could raise a reasonable doubt.
Right.
But that's not the prosecution's burden. The prosecution's burden is to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt. It's like yesterday when he was talking to the doctor, and he said, Doctor, you don't know who threw the first punch, do you? And the doctor said, no. And I thought, neither do you.
Yeah,
You're the prosecutor. You're the one that has to convince me beyond every reasonable doubt. You don't have a single witness that says anything other than what George Zimmerman says.
Right.
So where is this case going?
Right.
You know, I think the case is going to an acquittal because not because George was right, or not because it's not a big deal that Trayvon was murdered or shot or whatever it was that happened, but because the prosecution doesn't have the evidence to disprove self-defense. They've got evidence to raise doubt, which is usually what the defense does, but they don't have evidence to disprove it.
That's if the jury's paying attention, though.
Well, yeah.
They get their human emotion involved, and you never know what the hell
Like I
is
said,
gonna happen.
when I say I think it's going towards an acquittal, I'm just, this is an odds. It's not a prediction much, but it's like, okay, I've seen cases like this, and this is where it tends to go.
Right.
The jury could very well look at it and say, you know what? You didn't have to shoot this boy. You did not have to shoot this boy, and say this is not self-defense, and it becomes manslaughter.
When you read the law, though, that you have to weigh with the evidence, it seems as a juror you can't just say, I don't like the fact that he did this, and throw away everything that really adds up mathematically.
In a perfect world, but
that's true.
But that could happen.
Well,
I understand it could happen.
That exact thing could happen.
Well, remember that there is a component there that the law does not. It's not like it says as for second degree murder, I agree with you. If the elements aren't satisfied, they can't make up elements.
Right.
Okay. As for manslaughter is just a killing that's not justifiable, and it is exclusively within the province of the jury to decide whether or not this was justifiable. They're the ones who decide, was George Zimmerman in fear for his life or serious bodily injury, and was it reasonable under the circumstances that he have that fear? Like you shooting the neighbor through the window, the neighbor's kid through the window. Okay? Were you in fear, and was it reasonable under those circumstances for you to have that fear? If they say no, it wasn't, we don't think that it was reasonable for him to fear serious bodily injury or death, they can say it's not self-defense and it becomes manslaughter.
Yeah.
And then it's a question of whether there's enough there for the appellate court to say no, under those circumstances, by law, that would be self-defense.
And does a jury, because like a lot of times you said I think the defense in the case, Anthony, will throw out these leading questions, which a lot of times you want the jury to hear something, even though you know you're going to lose on the objection. Does the jury have to explain why they came to the conclusion? Like, if you put something in the jury's head, like, again, with a leading question, and that they've heard that.
They don't have to explain.
So basically, that really can be a smart tactic by disregard that testimony. You'll never have to come back and say we didn't disregard.
Look at what Jose Baez did in the Casey Anthony case. He got up there and alleged that George Anthony had sexually abused his daughter since she was 8 years old. Not a shred of evidence of it. It never came into trial in any way, shape, or form. There was nothing to indicate. There was no evidence that her behavior changed at school, that she told any friends that her dad was molesting her over her whole life. Not one witness was called to testify to that, and of course Casey didn't testify. Now, why can he do that? Well, there are several reasons. One, she told him that, and she might be testifying, and therefore I'm going to put out there what the evidence is going to show, but hey, guess what? My client can change her mind about testifying, and I can't control that. If she decides she doesn't want to testify, she doesn't testify. You're going to tell the jury to disregard statements that were made in opening because the lawyers are not witnesses? Yeah, but you put that out in front of the jury, and now the jury is thinking, oh, wow, he molested his daughter. Okay. Yeah. Or she never said that, and that was fabricated for opening statement, and there's no way to prove it, because you could always say, my client told me that, and she was going to testify, but she didn't testify.
Yeah.
So it's unethical if that's the reason. I have no reason to believe that Jose Baez made that up. I'm just saying that once that's out there,
it's out there.
It's out there, and that can motivate a jury to say, we think George was involved in some way, shape, or form, or something like that. So jurors just come back with a guilty or not guilty verdict. Sometimes they specify things like, if there's a requirement that they make a specific finding of something, they specify by checking a box. But it's really, you're prohibited from going into the deliberations of the jurors, their thoughts and their decisions.
Their notes are not, their notes don't.
In fact, the notes are destroyed after the trial. They're not even kept.
Off the subject, one quick question. I don't even want you don't have to go into it all. I'm just curious as to what you think. There's been so much speculation about the West Memphis 3, And I just want to know, do you think that those guys were railroaded, or do you think that the Alford plea...
Remind me the West Memphis three, because I don't know them all by catch name.
They went to jail for killing kids in the South, and they had confessed to it. One of them confessed to it, but...
I remember reading about it, but I just didn't... I didn't get into it very much. But,
I was just curious to what you thought.
You should watch the documentaries. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, I think that they didn't do it, but then people would email me, go, what do you... You know, it's like, it's just a very interesting case.
I mean, the problem is that, I mean, I don't put a lot of weight in documentaries, because, you know, anybody can make a movie that paints anything any way they want. You know, if they want to make it look a certain way, I mean, you know,
add a little music, add a little grainy over the footage,
and you can make you know, that movie Monster about Warnos, who was a serial killer in Florida who was killing men on, you know, you can paint a serial killer to look like you know, a poor victim. Just a serial killer. You know, it just depends on what Hollywood or whoever's making the movie wants. You know, and movies. And by the way, if you make a documentary that is consistent with the way the case went, it doesn't always do as well. It's when you make it controversial, like, oh my God, these people were railroaded.
A little drama.
That it sells. Now, it may be that it's true. It may be that the documentary is completely accurate and they were railroaded, but I don't know.
Do you, when you, the Supreme Court is really interesting to me, because do you find it irritating that you can almost predict each, like, on a court of that magnitude, how do you always know how Scalia is going to go, or how do you always know how Ginsburg is going to go? Like, how does this happen? I think Kennedy is the one that kind of goes back and forth. Like, why are these so predictable down the line?
Well, because the courts operate under a principle of stare decisis, which is precedential law. The cases that came before govern what you do in the future, and we already know from prior cases how these justices view certain issues, whether they respect privacy rights and see them as a justification for Roe v. Wade, or whether they feel that was a right that was manufactured and created by the Supreme Court to reach a result they wanted to reach. Or we know their opinions. So when an issue comes up, we know that if this opinion involves a privacy right, we know that Scalia is going to say this, and we know that Kennedy's going to say that. I mean, within framework, we know. So it becomes, you know, people who follow the Supreme Court are very good at predicting what they think it's going to be, an 8-to-1 split or what. Now, you know, that's not always accurate, but you know, like the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare. Excuse me. That was, as written, that was completely unconstitutional. It was done under the Commerce Clause. The Commerce Clause had never, ever been used to force private citizens to buy anything. You know, it was basically to regulate things you bought, and it had, and it's a very broad power, no question about it. It's been used for a lot of things, but never in the history of this country has the Commerce Clause been used to force you to go out and buy something you didn't want to buy. No question, it was going to be unconstitutional. And then one of the
tax.
And then one of our justices went out and said, you know what? This was really a tax. Now, mind you, everybody had said it was not a tax, including the legislators who wrote it. The president of the United States said this is not a tax. There was taxing language in it that they took out to make sure it wasn't viewed as a tax. And there's a dispute about whether that was done because to reinstate faith in the courts, see they don't always go along party lines, or because the justice wanted to have a particular outcome, and this was, you know, in other words, it's a good act because you get, you know, people have pre-existing conditions, and no question, pre-existing conditions are a big problem for people. And my family is full of issues. I mean, everybody in our family is warranties expired and we're broken everywhere. So I really appreciate the pre-existing condition coverage and the fact that my kids can stay on my insurance till 25 and all that, all those things, good things. But that wasn't the question. The question was it legal?
What justice, by the way, said it was a tax?
I'm trying to remember if it was Roberts or Kennedy. I don't remember which one.
Isn't Kennedy one that was appointed by a conservative judge but tends to go liberal? Or he's the one that's all over the place, which I kind of like.
You can't always count on, you know, and this is the thing, is also that the court used to be very apolitical. You could count on them to do whatever was constitutional, regardless of the political slant or their political feelings. And over the years, that's changed and changed and changed to now where you kind of you expect their rulings more to be political, which is why people are losing a lot of faith in the court. But you know, Sandra Day O'Connor, She was appointed by Reagan. She was supposed to be a staunch conservative and turned out to be as middle of the road and sometimes more liberal than others on the court.
Wasn't Stephen Breyer a big disappointment to whoever appointed him? Because didn't he always go the opposit way of how they thought he was going to go, and he wound up lining up completely?
They all disappoint me, actually.
who appointed him? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know why I'm asking specific questions.
Yeah, I guess the trial is in session now. What are they? I think she's going to judge. Or,
it's about to be in session.
Turn the lights on, Jesus.
She's going to decide whether, I guess, that animation gets admitted.
She's got a couple of decisions to make. One is the animation is going to be admitted. The other's going to
phone evidence.
The other is the phone evidence, and then I think there's a hearing about
a witness. I guess it was.
It was Donnelly, the war vet,
the Vietnam guy that said that he had identified Zimmerman's voice. Sure. I guess. They're saying his sequestration
testimony. Apparently, he was in the courtroom. He shouldn't be in the courtroom.
He heard
the rule of sequestration says witnesses can't be in the courtroom. If one side or another invokes it, the witnesses who are going to testify have to be outside the courtroom. They can't discuss their testimony. They can't be in there. And he apparently was. I guess she's going to have a hearing, find out why he was in there, what he heard, and she'll decide what to do about it.
Right.
Well, didn't this this struck me?
By the way, the lights were off last night. That was last night.
This struck me as odd yesterday, listening to this pathologist testify, because he referenced, I think, what the medical examiner had said. And I'm like, I guess, is that just from reading the report, or did he hear the testimony? Because I was like, why is he...
Well, first of all, experts can be in the courtroom.
Oh.
Yeah, experts are excluded from that because they base their opinion on what other people say. That the experts are allowed to say, based upon my review of this and the testimony of this officer and this, my opinion would be whatever. I mean, that's the only difference really between experts and lay witnesses is lay witnesses can't give opinion. Experts can give opinion. So lay witnesses have to basically just state the facts.
I just want to call Alex all day and just ask him questions. And what do you think about?
Unfortunately, we have to move on, and I'm sure that Alex wants to start tweeting. No, you got other shows to do, I'm sure. You're all over the place. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've been commenting a lot on this case.
Seen you popping up. Do you see the media as being biased in this or holding back from certain things?
Well, I mean, at the outset, I don't know if you remember, but last year, a major network. I mean, remember there was a lot of criticism of the fact that they would show George Zimmerman's booking photo and then a picture of Trayvon from when he was 12 in his jersey. And I understand that you get whatever pictures you get from the family. If the family gave you a picture of him in a jersey, they're going to run with it. When he's 12 years old, I tend to believe they must have had some pictures of him since after he was 12 years old. But but they ran with that, and they kept running with it and kept running with it until they got so much criticism. But they still air it. But there was one network.
NBC edited the tape.
I wasn't going to say who it was, but
they should be crucified for that.
They took the tape, the 911 tape that said where George Zimmerman said, there's this guy. He's suspicious. He's walking between houses. It looks like he might be on drugs. It looks like he might be looking into houses. And that was in response to the dispatcher who said, when he said, "I'm looking at the suspicious character," she said, "What's suspicious about him?" "Well, he's walking between houses and all this stuff." And then she said, "Is he white or black?" And he said, "He's black." So they edited it to say, "I'm looking at the suspicious guy. What's suspicious about him? He's black."
He's black, yeah.
And I mean,
Jesus.
I am not. I mean, that really is despicable.
Yeah.
Because I don't doubt that was a big catalyst for a lot of the racial animus that started like a fire. I mean, why would you do that? Why, as a news network, would you do that? Now,
what's the motivation?
Because they're agenda driven. It really is reprehensible and unspoken. Like, they've never sat down in a room and said, "This is our agenda."
Right.
But they all kind of know it. It's like, I don't know how they know it, but it's they just understand that this is the narrative.
Well, they did. They said that it was some, I don't know, intern or something. I have trouble believing that a major network lets an intern edit tapes to put on the air. I don't remember if anybody.
Did they give his name?
I'm sure. I don't know if they did at the time.
Yeah, they protect. It's funny, they don't give their own.
But
so I don't know. I don't know why that. I don't know why you would do that. That's, I mean, how would you think that you would actually get away with that? Everybody else has the tape.
Yeah.
So I mean, that kind of weighs in their favor that this was some loose cannon at our network. But why does a loose cannon at your network think that they can do that at your network? That's just crazy.
I'm also seeing, like, last night when this was going on with trying to decide about letting the phone in and the contents of Trayvon's phone. all of a sudden the cable news networks weren't talking about that. They weren't mentioning what was on the phone. Everything else that the judge had to decide on, outside of the eyes and ears of the jury, they would still talk about. And that dead silence, it's like it doesn't fit their storyline. They want it to be a white male shot, a white male cop wannabe, shot this black innocent teen, and that's what they want.
Well, I'll say this: I don't trust any media. Mm-hmm. I watch CNN. I watch Fox News. Right. I take them both with a grain of salt. I look at both of them so that I can make up my own mind. Mm-hmm. You know, there are people who are just like, I'm not watching anybody but this one, and the other one is the enemy and all that. But I take it as you don't know what you're getting. If you want to read a book that'll put it in perspective, read the book Bias by Bernie Goldberg. Mm-hmm. And Bernie, it's funny, I laugh because I've read probably every one of Bernie's books because I like Bias so much. It's kind of like taking that, you remember the movie Matrix where he says you can take the blue pill or the red pill.
Right, yeah.
If you take the blue pill, you go back to the way things were and you won't know anything. If you take the red pill, you will never be the same again. You will never look at things the same again. You read the book. It's like you took the red pill. You never watch news stories the same. You see the subtle things. You see the subtle things that you go, wait a minute. That jumps out at me. Like, for example, when Hillary was running for the Democratic ticket, she was the media darling. They loved her, and so she could do no wrong. But when Obama came along, he became the media darling. Uh-huh. And then you start to see a noticeable change in the way that she was portrayed.
Presented
in
her
some, and I wouldn't say all, I certainly don't look at them all, but in some, it started jumping out at me that you would see a picture of Obama, and it was very presidential, and he was standing there and gazing into the distance, like in his poster. It's a beautiful picture. Right. and then they would put, they would be talking about a debate between Hillary and Obama, and they would put that picture for Obama, and the one for Hillary would be her mid-sentence with her mouth open.
Her mouth is always open, twisted, crooked, her eyes half shut.
And they never did that before.
Yeah.
But you start to suspect, are these subtle messages kind of like, he's better than her, because they've made up their mind who they want to back. Wow, I don't know that that's true, but when you read the book Bias, he talks about what goes on in the media behind closed doors and things like this. And then he wrote another book, Arrogance. And the funny thing about Bernie Goldberg is, you see him all the time now on O'Reilly, on Fox. He was a liberal journalist, and he even says in his book, he says, look, and I totally get this. He says journalists are by definition liberal because our job is to challenge authority. We challenge the government. We have to be the liberal. That we have that slant naturally, but we're not supposed to let it go into our writings. Yeah. We're supposed to be neutral, not give our view of the world. And I laugh because as I've read his books, Bias, Arrogance, and the ones that followed, I see this progression where he went from being a liberal journalist to now, I don't know if he is still viewed as liberal, but, he's on O'Reilly, on Fox.
Right,
all the time, commenting basically about why the liberal reported this, why the media reported these stories in this fashion instead of that fashion. And he's a very credible guy. But, maybe he's on Fox because that's the only network that'll put him on. I don't know.
You wonder, was there, because they don't do racial descriptions anymore a lot of times in these things. And again, if the guy is caught, it doesn't matter. But if they're I've read things on the Daily News, they were looking for a rape suspect. They said he was wearing a red hoodie. Like, they don't give you the suspects, just like that would just kind of cut the hunt down from white to black. That eliminates a lot of suspects.
I totally disagree with that.
Did they send out that mandate? Is there a memo that says cut this? How do they know to do it?
There are viewpoints among some of the media who say that they do not want to publicize that it is a black male or Hispanic male because they feel like they are sending a message that all black males or all Hispanic males are committing crimes.
So the news is not important. The truth is not important.
I think it's worse than that because you need a description of an individual in order to. You would never say like, well, I don't want to say it was a the person who raped her has a hair lip, because then we're saying that all people are hair.
Start laughing.
You really need to you need a description to know who you're looking. If you're not gonna give a description, then don't give a description.
If you listen to a police scanner, the first thing they put is race.
Sure,
of the person,
because you want to catch the person.
Right.
So the cops need to know: am I looking for a white male, Hispanic male, black male? It's not maligning to the extent that they feel that they are putting out descriptions for black males too much. It's because, well, guess who our ghettos are filled with?
Right.
Okay, who do you think is going to commit violent crime? If you filled all the ghettos in America with white people, the only thing that you would hear on the news is this white person did this, this white person did that. Because when you live in a situation where you don't have hope of getting out, people become desperate. So you're going to naturally, statistically, have more crimes by the people who are more desperate.
But the news isn't going to sit there and go, well, people, here's another black guy that did that. They're just reporting what happened and trying to put out a description of somebody if they need to. But, I don't see it as something that's a bad thing. I mean, it's part of the story.
They're really reprehensible. And what's the guy's name? Bernie Goldberg?
Yes.
What a terrible because they become so hateable. And I don't know when it changed.
Bernie wrote a book, Bias, that outs that.
Yeah,
he wrote a book that says this is what the media does, and as a result, he actually wrote it because he tells you in the book that he was noticing his colleagues constantly giving stories with a slant.
Yeah,
subtle things like. Dan Rather would have a panel, two people, two talking heads, and one he would identify as a so-and-so, the member of this conservative think tank, to let the audience know this is the conservative viewpoint. And then the woman that was on the other side of he would just say, a learned law professor. This is the conservative think tank person. This one is a learned law professor. So he said he would see things like this, and it really bugged him, and he thought, even if that's your perception, you're supposed to, as a journalist, report it neutral, not from your viewpoint. And so he finally, one day, the straw broke the camel's back was he wrote, he saw this piece and he said, I've got to write about this. So he wrote a piece about liberal bias in the media from a journalist viewpoint, saying, guys, and his viewpoint was, I don't think we do it intentionally. I don't think we're purposely slanting it. I think that this is the way we see the world, so we think everybody sees it this way, and we need to be careful. So it's a pretty tame piece. But he knew the New York Times was not going to publish that. So in his mind, he said, there's no way. He says in the book, and I don't know how true it is because that's not my world, but he says, you want to know how ABC, CBS, and NBC report the news? Every morning they open up the New York Times and see what they reported. And he said that's true. He said they follow whatever's in the New York Times, and that's how they report it. So he said, I did not believe for a second the New York Times was going to report my piece. So he made the cardinal sin of giving his paper to the Wall Street Journal, and they published it. And he said they weren't angry at him about the piece he wrote. They were angry that he gave it to the Wall Street Journal. And he says in the book that he was blackballed. They wouldn't talk to him. They wouldn't hire him. They wouldn't send him any work. And they basically sent him off to shrivel up and die.
Jeez.
And so he said, you know what? I'm going to write a book about it.
And he's been crucifying them ever since.
Probably.
Good for him. He's getting him on. I'd love to talk to him and hug him.
He's in Miami, and his name is Bernie Goldberg. And the book Bias is worth reading. And not I don't say it because you should distrust, ABC, CBS, NBC.
Right.
I look at everybody that way. I look at Fox, and CBS, ABC, and NBC as they have an agenda. They may have an agenda, let's say, and I don't necessarily want to fall into that agenda. I want to make up my own mind. And I think that nowadays when people say, like, why doesn't anybody trust the media anymore? I think that's why. I think people aren't that stupid. I think people see and pick up on slants. Whether they think that Fox News is extreme right or they think that NBC is extreme left or whatever, people pick up on slants and they want to make up their own mind. And that's why I think circulation for newspapers and stuff like that is all down.
Well, I definitely would like to talk to you again, maybe after the trial or when they're deliberating or something. But very insightful, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Judge Alex.
You're great.
Look for the show, Judge Alex. I guess check your local listings, as they say. It's very entertaining,
Thank you very much. And you can follow me on @Judge Alex Ferrer.
Yeah.
Ferrer.
Ferrer.
Next time you come back, I have a girl I took out who kind of indicated sex and then didn't give any, and I'd like to know what I could do about that legally.
Well, that's a clear breach of contract. But she may have the defense that it's justifiable.
Exactly.
So.
All of a sudden, she got her eyesight back.
After the break, the interns and their book report.
Yes, their book report. Isn't that
Quincy.
great?
What a weird show we do. Judge Alex, thank you, man. This was a pleasure.
Pleasure's mine, guys. Thanks a lot.
The Opie and Anthony Show continues in moments. The guys are back from the toilet.
Now, back to our show.
The Opie and Anthony Show.
I want to thank Judge Alex. He was great. He's going to have to be our go-to guy. We like go-to guys.
He's everyone's go-to guy at this point.
Oh, really?
This trial, yeah.
A lot of people using him?
Yeah, he's good at, putting it out there, getting the facts out there, not a lot of emotion to what he's talking about with this case. So
really nice guy,
he's one of the good guys.
If we have a legal question, we'll have to ask him.
Mm-hmm. I guess force continues appropriate force determined by law. I'm trying to see what they're up to here on this Zimmerman thing. Did they decide?
Yeah, they decide he's guilty.
Oh, what happened?
So that went down. And the riots should be not happening.
Oh, okay.
So we're good there.
Oh, that'll work then.
Don't listen to me today. I feel like shit. I just shit my brains out during that interview. I had to sneak out.
Oh, you did?
Sometimes we sneak out to take leaks
leaks
because we have lame bladders, especially me and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Especially me and Jimmy, but I snuck out and just let loose, man.
Was it good?
No.
No.
But maybe I got the toxins out because my headache feels way better.
Oh, that's good. I'll tell you what that is. The Excedrin.
PMS?
The Excedrin.
Yeah, it told me it's got to be Excedrin every time.
If you have a headache.
Why Excedrin?
Excedrin. Because Tylenol don't work worth shit. Ibuprofen's good if you got your fucking period.
But Tylenol is the big brand name.
No.
What about the Tylenol PMs? I like those.
Excedrin.
You know what you guys got to do?
What?
When we go up to Montreal? Get some Tylenol Ultra.
What is that?
Yeah.
That is what here is over the counter, like prescription Tylenol.
Yeah.
Up there, it's just Tylenol.
Yeah, but Tylenol doesn't fucking work for a headache.
Dude, this works in like 5 minutes. It's incredible.
They got some shit out there. They just won't allow us to have it. Because
Well,
I remember
you got to get a prescription for it here, but you can buy it in Canada and bring it back for personal use.
I had a horrendous allergy attack about 10 years ago, and where my face blew up. I've talked about it a few times on the show. But I also had the worst headache of my life during that episode. And whatever they put in that IV, my headache went away immediately. And I'm like, why can't they fucking why can't they fucking give this to us? They could get rid of a headache in, I mean, it was less than a minute. The whole thing went away. Yeah. So they got that. Why do they hold it back and give us the lame version with this stupid Tylenol and all the other aspirins? So what, should I take 10 aspirins and then it'll be...
your liver and kidneys will fucking explode.
Yeah, they're scared what it would do.
Didn't I read there's like a difference, though? Like Tylenol blocks the pain and like Excedrin like actually...
Tylenol's bad for your...
alcohol blocks the pain.
That's true.
Yeah, Tylenol's bad for your fucking...
Go to prostitute, pornography.
Blocks the pain.
If you've been drinking, too, Tylenol's not good.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, your liver's there trying to metabolize the booze, and then Tylenol goes in there, and it goes,
I'm glad you're so concerned about how Tylenol is not good for you. Well,
not good for me.
Yeah.
Yes, meanwhile, you have Vicodin in an eye dripper.
I wish. That was fun, those Vicodins.
You counted that shit out, right?
Yeah,
I made sure it lasted.
They gave me five. They only gave me 5.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
It was great.
A quick 5.
It was 5. So I took one the first day, and then I skipped a day. It was great.
What happened?
I said the same thing.
What the fuck?
What happened?
Nothing. I'm just looking at... No. Let me see it. Put it up. Be proud of your fucking... I don't know, the fucking leg that stuck out from under the house in The Wizard of Oz.
What happened?
His socks.
What kind of socks he has on?
Let me see your faggy socks.
Look at his socks and shoes.
Let me see.
Look at the fucking outfit.
Oh, God, stop. What are you doing?
Show Opie.
What is that?
Show Opie. What are you, Denny Terrio? Show him.
What are you doing? Those
What
are
is
blue
that?
suede
Those
shoes.
are fancy socks.
They're blue suede shoes.
And they're red like girl stockings.
Jim Norton will be tweeting this immediately.
Yeah. You're not going to wear...
Those socks don't breathe.
You're not going to wear white socks with these shoes.
You're not going to wear those, though. There's
Why
other
would
colors.
you wear those shoes?
Wear blue.
They're nice shoes.
Blue suede shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
How many more times do I have to say it, you fucking idiot?
What?
Play the goddamn song.
What song?
Play the goddamn song.
What happened?
He said I didn't pick it up. E-Rock. E-Rock,
An exercise book?
E-Rock, Sal went into a panic because no one was sitting in your spot. Were you shitting? Like he said you were?
Yeah, I went to the bathroom.
And you left your post, and Sal panicked.
He's supposed to be the backup, so.
Oh, all right.
You're not going to wear... If you're going to wear shoes that are nice, you wear a nice pair of socks to complement them.
Exactly.
So where are yours?
Yeah, exactly. Those fucking polka-dotted disasters are terrible.
Listen, Travis, I don't need your commentary. You've got Pearl Jam sneakers on.
Sweet. Let me see your Pearl Jam sneakers. I'll be the judge. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Say Pearl Jam on the back.
Yeah, they're
of that.
juicy, but
Yeah, so what's wrong with
the
that?
key is I know I'm a shit dresser, so I don't. I wear the same fucking T-shirt in different colors every day for the last month. I know I'm a fool. You actually think those are?
You stick with it.
I certainly do.
I get a lot of compliments on these shoes.
From who? What women tell you that? No guys compliment your shoes.
I don't wear shoes so guys compliment them.
Well, that's
Yeah, but women compliment them because they would wear them.
They wouldn't wear them.
Yes,
It's
they
men's
would.
shoes.
But that's the beauty of it. The women are like, oh God, I could wear those.
No.
And
You don't-
like femininity.
You don't.
femininity.
You don't wear clothes so men compliment them.
Shoes are a waste of time, though.
Yeah, like
No
I mean, a waste
one
of-
compliments
in general?
shoes, either side.
Women do.
Not really.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's because you're not wearing nice shoes.
Yeah, so who cares? I've never been told I have nice shoes, bad
Yeah,
shoes,
well, guess
shitty
what?
shoes. I've never been told anything about my shoes, ever.
Guess who
'Cause
has
it
been?
doesn't matter.
Guess who's been told many times?
By
I
your-
like your
by
shoes.
your mommy?
Not my mommy.
Mommy likes your
Mommy
shoes.
told you.
I'm sure she
those
does.
shoes look very nice.
But lots of women
Young
do.
Sam.
No, they don't.
Oh, yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Those are terrible.
It's a farce. The whole thing's a farce.
There's nothing
The shoe
farcical
industry is
about
a
it.
farce.
There's nothing farcical
It's a
about
farce.
it. Incorrect.
It really is a farce. What color are my shoes?
don't know.
I've been wearing these shoes for 2 straight years.
I would assume something earth tone.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
I would assume.
All right, that's
something
my
earth
point,
tone.
though.
Right.
In 2 years, you would know my shoes, right?
What color are my shoes?
Blue.
And
'Cause
what are they made of?
suede.
Exactly. I make a statement.
I didn't notice, though.
Mr. Norton
What
did.
kind of shoes are
I
they?
wouldn't have noticed.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. And Mo.
I got an afro.
My
Why?
point,
If they weren't,
my point is, you could have worn them a month straight. I would have never noticed that you had
but
blue
that's
shoes
you.
Yeah, I happen to notice your red socks.
on. I would have noticed.
Elvis wrote a song about blue
No, he
suede
didn't.
shoes.
Carl Perkins did.
Yeah, man. Know
He
your
sang a song.
know your artist.
Sang a song.
You have
Oops,
another
maybe
pair
I
of
shouldn't say
suede
that.
shoes, right?
I'm sure I do. I don't know.
Didn't I see you wearing
rough
new shoes
day today.
yesterday?
Are those
Really
suede?
rough.
I don't know. They're brown.
Yeah, it was George Harrison. Wrote it.
Shut up.
Opie told me George Harrison wrote it.
If you want to hear me get a lot of things wrong, make sure you listen to the
Listen
replay.
any
today.
day. Nice fire engine red fucking feety pajamas. That's what they are. They're fucking child fire
Feety
truck feety
pajamas.
pajamas.
Incorrect. The men's styled sock industry is exploding these days.
They're not.
Exploding.
So should your head.
Gold toe. Gold toe is all you need.
Gold toe from the guy who said,
I got gold toes.
"Why don't these kids play outside anymore?" And who's ever heard of that
All right.
Macklemore song?
And I also wear white socks with my sandals.
All right.
So maybe I am an old man officially.
All right.
I've only needed gold toe fucking socks over the years.
Yeah.
I'm wearing like gold toe because you wipe the toilet with it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
right.
really
funny.
funny.
I'm
He's saying the
proud.
gold is piss.
It was a good James Bond movie.
Oh, gold toe. He's the man with pissy socks. It dripped out of his cock.
I think my pubic hair is too long.
Let me see. Yeah, if it's visible, it's too long. Shave it. Make that cock stand out proudly.
I just moved and I got pubic hair gone. I think it's too long.
Ew.
Now I'm adjusting it.
Old Rapunzel balls.
Ew.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I used to be good at fucking manscaping. Don't have time.
I shave it all. My cock looks like a big soft cactus hanging off a fucking a glass surface.
Fuck.
And I got, if we're confessing, I had an itchy taint for 2 days because I didn't shower for 6.
Oh, man.
Can I tell you what Opie did?
I didn't shower for 6 days.
Why?
Would you just wash your asshole in the ocean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Man.
See, Jimmy knows.
I didn't know that he hadn't showered. Remember he said that I went to his beach house over the vacation?
When I do the beach thing, I don't shower. I figure
goes-
the ocean takes care of everything.
You know what?
But the problem is I wasn't in the ocean yet. So I went about 6 days.
And I did the reverse math. And it's not an ocean thing. Because he goes, we were in the ocean. And he goes, you know why I'm in the ocean? I go, I don't know, because it's refreshing. And he said, because I figured this is a good way to wash my balls. And I go, what? And he said, I haven't showered in 6 days. And this morning, I went to scratch my nuts. And I accidentally got a whiff.
It was horrendous.
It was horrendous.
Oh, my God.
And then I did the reverse math.
Yeah.
And not showering for 6 days meant that his last shower was Saturday.
Right.
He didn't go to the beach until Tuesday.
Holy shit.
He's a disgusting man.
So you just sat home at your fucking bag smelling like a fucking onion house?
I had to go to Philly for 2 family parties. So
What? You weren't showering?
I showered Sunday morning.
Jesus.
For the last party, and then I went to the beach Monday. I didn't even unpack my suitcase. It was at the front door the whole week. And I also did the, I wiped my ass in the ocean, too. Like this way, you just kind of get in there.
With what?
Just your side hand.
Wait, with your hand?
Yeah, you dip down a little bit. What's wrong with Kenny?
Kenny is revolted.
Why are these people revolted?
You used your
you don't
hand
have to smell my ass.
to fuck with your asshole?
Well, I washed my balls with the ocean waves. Got a nice, like fucking jet stream going right up the shorts. But I figured my asshole.
In salt water?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Like you don't have to just go like.
Ugh.
But
that really changes.
But then
male.
your hand.
Nah, you're in the ocean.
There's no soap in the ocean.
It's the salt water.
Wow.
That first shower felt really good, though.
That's like washing your face with a pussy and considering it done.
But it affects male camaraderie, too, when the guy who you're in the ocean with lets you know.
I had to let somebody know.
His intention was to wash his 6-day unwashed
That was the only reason I went in the ocean.
You guys went in the ocean together?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Dived
Just so I
under
could tell him.
waves and shit.
Frolicking?
Because I wanted to tell him. That the only reason I was there was to wash my balls.
Too bad songs from Greece weren't playing over. Get to the summer loving.
Yeah. But then
we made out under the dock after.
Yeah.
But then I had an itchy taint. And I guess that's from the lack of showering. I guess the ocean,
I guess
the ocean didn't take care of my taint.
No, of course not.
Which is a nice itch, by the way.
It's a wonderful.
People don't talk about the taint itch. When you get a good itch going, that feels good. That's almost feels as good as rubbing athlete's foot away.
You know, you can't rub athlete's foot away. You put creams on it.
No, I rub it right to where it gets bleedy, but it feels really good.
It's a fungus.
Yeah, but when you have athlete's foot, and you start itching, it's all on that first or second layer of skin, and you itch that shit right off. It feels really good.
When was the last time I shook Opie's hand? I hope it was years ago.
No, I showered. I've been showering every day since I got back from the beach. I'm good now.
No, you're not. Your fucking pubes just got tangled up in your fucking
that's
scarf.
because I gotta maybe trim them down a little bit. You know, they're sticking out the bottom of my fucking.
You know who Opie's revolted?
Huh.
The interns.
Oh.
What?
I just got word that you've revolted.
Who gives a fuck? I put up fucking numbers, man. I don't need their fucking.
And now you've just given up?
Oh,
I haven't given up. I was at a beach.
What about your lovely wife? She has to deal with that?
Oh, man.
Well,
she's a wonderful person. She shouldn't have to deal with 6-day-old smelly ocean balls.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that must smell like under the covers.
Awful.
Wow. The fart last night was even worse.
Oh, my God.
She called me out on the fart last night, but that was because I have an upset tummy. Because, like I've said many times today, I'm not feeling great.
I don't even like to not shower after I've been in the salt water, because then you smell like you were
smell
in the
like
water.
the ocean.
I love that.
Just let
they
it
should make a
sit.
cologne
Yeah.
that smells like the beach.
And the salt water makes your
It'd be great.
the salt water makes your hair look fuller too.
The salt water does do well for my hair.
It makes your hair look
So
fuller.
what a shotgun.
I love the salt water.
Yeah, but you got to shower.
Yeah.
Salt
Take
water.
a bath.
Salt water way better than showering.
It's not an either-or situation.
It certainly is.
No.
Gross.
No.
So nasty. Nasty.
Proud to report the taint's back in
line.
Back in line.
Yeah.
Of course, the pubes are probably covering it.
It was a good itch, though.
Fucking little guppies just fucking ripping falling cheese skin off your ball bag.
Your pubic hair covers your asshole like the girl from The Ring's hair covered her face.
That girl's hot now.
Yeah, she was hot then.
She was always hot, right? You've never had athlete's foot?
No.
Or feet?
I have
or
never.
Toes? It should be called athlete's toes.
Or knees or ass or abs.
No, he's never had athlete's anything.
Never had athlete, yeah, exactly.
So you don't understand
athlete's
a good
fist in his chin.
Exactly. Athlete's fist. Right in my face.
So you don't understand a good itch between the toes?
No.
How pleasurable that can be?
No.
It's strangely pleasurable.
No.
And then you rub the athlete's foot away.
You cannot
and you
possibly,
leave a scabby
by the way,
fucking mess.
You can't possibly be able to wash all of that off of your hands and under your fingernails and everything. After like 5 minutes, do you smell? It's like
you got to give a little sniff every once in a while. See what's going on.
Catch a whiff.
I can't.
You gotta.
I'm gonna vomit.
Boy, you just gotta.
He said he hadn't washed his balls in 6 days, and then he accidentally caught a whiff.
Because I had an itch, and then I was eating a hamburger or something, and went, what the hell is that?
Oh,
did we get some bad meat from ball bounds?
It's like your residue from your dirty balls was wiping off on the bun that you were eating.
Brushing your nose as you put the burger into your face.
This is too much.
It was a perfect week off. I loved it.
Getting caught in his upper lip stubble.
I still haven't shaved either. Fuck.
You got to shower when you're at the beach.
Nah. Outdoor shower, though. That's pretty good.
How would you know?
And I went into the hot water.
What?
My son calls it the hot water.
Where was that?
The hot tub. He calls it the hot water.
Hot
he goes,
water.
Daddy, can we go in the hot water? The hot water.
Oh.
Shouldn't be allowed in the hot tub.
No.
Just leaving a film on top.
Wow, you know how many chemicals are in the hot tub?
You're making stew in there. Old ball bag and taint stew.
The hot water's a bit greasy on top right now. Might have to change the water.
Like chicken soup broth. It's got that rainbow on it.
So who wants to come to the beach house?
Oh, God. Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to keep people away? Good job.
Worked perfectly.
I finally just want to be alone here at the beach house.
Damn. So anyway, Chris Benson is the ex-pitcher for the Mets. His wife broke into his house. They're not together anymore, so ex-wife, I guess, and demanded $35,000 in cash. She was armed, and she had a bulletproof vest on. Damn. We had the story earlier this morning. And since then, the 911 phone call has been released, and we're about to listen to it here. So you're going to hear Chris Benson going, Jesus, get the cops over here. My ex-wife's here, with a gun and a bulletproof vest, demanding money. Or is he calling from the woods?
He's calling from the basement.
From the basement?
What are you going to the basement for?
I don't know. Maybe
You're
he said
never
that's
going
where
to
the
the
money
basement.
was.
I got to say, this broad rules because she's calling him a pussy for calling the cops. He's such a pussy. Oh, okay.
What a pussy.
Well,
she arrives with a gun and bulletproof vest, and he's a pussy for calling the cops.
He flees mid-call to the woods.
Does he really? Yeah. All right. It's a little long, but we'll start from the beginning and see where it goes.
Running 911. This is Tabitha transfer addresses. What's going on?
Yes, are you there?
Yes, what's going on?
Yes, my going-to-be ex-wife has gotten into my house and she's brandishing a gun.
She has a gun?
Yes.
Where is she right now?
She's in the house and I'm downstairs in the basement.
What, has she threatened you with that gun?
Yes.
Hold on for me one moment, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Did he give the address yet?
All right, what does she look like?
She's got hair. She's wearing black.
Is she white or black female?
White female.
That's what they want to
How
know,
old is
right?
she?
30s.
Does she live there?
No.
What? Okay, what is she wearing?
She's wearing a bulletproof vest.
She's wearing a bulletproof vest?
Oh,
yes.
Jesus, this sounds bad.
And she threatened you with a gun?
Correct.
Is that your ex-wife?
Soon-to-be ex-wife. Going through a divorce.
He sounds calm.
For a pussy.
Okay, why don't you stay with me on the phone? You said you're down in the basement. Who else is in the house with you?
Nobody, just me and her.
Crazy bitch.
Okay, Okay.
I just got my hand on the back door in case I hear her come down the stairs.
Okay. Can you hear her upstairs?
Oh, a second.
Just tell me if you can hear her, okay?
I can hear her all the way upstairs, but I'm just going to get out of the house right now and just go to the next door neighbor.
Okay.
He's
You
running.
have a cell phone?
Yep.
No,
Stay
stupid.
with me on the phone. I want to make sure you're safe.
Yep.
What's her name?
George Zimmerman's chasing me.
What's your last name?
Benson.
Benson?
Yes, Benson.
Okay, sir. What's your first name?
Chris, K-R-I-S.
Okay, Chris, stay with me, okay? Just stay with me on the phone. What kind of car does she drive?
She's got a black
tank.
Buick. What's it, Enclave?
Okay, a black Buick Enclave?
Yes.
All right. You sure she's still in the house?
Well, left the house, so...
Okay, but she was, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know where you're going to so I can let the police know, but stay with me, okay?
You must have given the address
You have
first.
left now, right?
Yes.
Do you know what room she was in, or do you have any idea?
She walked into the bedroom, master bedroom.
Any other weapons in the house?
No.
What floor is that master bedroom on?
Main,
Do you know?
main floor.
Of course, he knows he lives there.
All right. What is Anna's date of birth?
2/12/76.
Has she ever done this before?
No, but no, she hasn't. No.
What kind of gun does she have? Do you know?
I want to say it's a Judge. She's talked about it before.
A Judge?
Yeah, it's got
Shotgun
like a shotgun
and
shell, small white
pistol round.
slug in it.
Yeah. Good
So
one.
it carries shotgun shells?
Yeah, like thin shotgun shells.
Okay. And she threatened you with it?
You could load both.
What did she say?
I don't know. I've got it
Gimmicky,
on
but
tape
good
recorder.
gun.
Everything was happening pretty quick, but I had
No, I don't have one.
Okay.
gotten my voice recorder out.
So you taped her?
Yes.
Put it this way, it would fuck it up. It would fuck him up.
He taped what she was saying.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Chris, what's your last name? Is it the same?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear the police officer.
Can you tell me what address you're at? No, you went to a neighbor's. Where are you?
I couldn't tell you what the address is. I'm just like in the back.
Are you outside?
Yes.
Okay, you're in the backyard?
Yes.
If you're facing the front of the house, are you to the left or to the right?
To the left.
Okay, to stay with me, okay? I don't want you to hang up with me till an officer is actually with you.
Yeah, that's fine. I can hear the siren.
Okay, did you see which way? Did you see her leave or no?
No, I'm in the back, so I can't see anything.
You can't see anything. And where was her vehicle? Was it in the driveway or parked out front?
Parked out front. She started in the driveway and then moved it to the front, and then she came in.
Do you know if she was drinking?
I have no idea.
Okay. Is she on any type of medication?
I don't know that either.
Okay.
We haven't been with.
Okay. You okay though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, she told me to go get a lighter for her to smoke a cigarette, and when I left the room, I just did a few into the basement.
Go get me a lighter.
Okay. Did she know where you went?
No.
She didn't know. Was she looking for you?
Yes.
She'd a lighter.
Okay.
For what? To light the bomb she was carrying.
Do you have any
This
animals
bitch is
inside the
crazy.
house?
Sorry.
No.
Okay.
What?
All right, Chris, just let me know when an officer's out with you. Right now, I believe they're possibly at the residence.
Yeah, I think they are. I
Yeah.
heard siren turn off, so...
Now, if you see her somehow running out of the house or something, I need you to let me know, okay?
Yeah, I've got a view of the, I got a view of the backyard just by looking through the trees.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Anna's last name was Benson. Okay. Any other way out of that house besides the front door and the way you went? Is there a back door?
Yeah, there's a front door, upstairs, back door, downstairs.
So
back
you can go
door.
through a wall.
Yeah. Yeah, she's going to launch herself through the wall.
Okay,
Helicopter pad.
Crazy
one more time
bitch.
for me.
212-76.
Why do you need it? She's trying to keep me
If
talking.
you face the front of the house, it'll be to the left. He's in the backyard.
The officer can actually walk down in between the houses, and I'll be back here.
Oh, she has powers like Magneto. She'll be throwing police cars around.
Let me know when you see one, and we told him where you were.
Fucking crazy bitch.
Chris, can I get your cell phone number real quick?
No.
Yep, I'm back here.
All right, I'm going to let you go, Chris, okay?
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Good luck to you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Godspeed.
Godspeed. Good luck, bro.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
He was pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Right. But he was keeping an eye out, you could tell.
God, he's going to have to be in court listening to that while some fucking defense attorney for her is like, well, you know, it's his word as to where she was, and she wasn't even holding the gun.
That tape will get out, though.
I tell you, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one you admit it and you claim mental illness.
Yeah.
She has.
Oh, the cops found her on the porch.
Yeah, I mean,
and she said the gun's in the house.
He said on that 911 call, I took out my voice recorder and I was recording what was going on.
So that'll help him.
Yeah.
God, I would love to hear that.
I know.
I would love to hear that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I guess the book report's going to have to wait till tomorrow because we need a lot of time for it, right?
Yeah, we need a lot of time.
We went a little longer with Judge Alex than we thought.
Judge
but it
Alex
was
is great.
It was too good to cut off.
Judge Alex. The guy on the stand now looks like an old David Cassidy. And then they switched
Zimmerman
to
trial.
Zimmerman. Yeah. Look, it's old David Cassidy face. What is he? He's another cop, I think.
Yeah.
Expert.
Just calling him an expert witness.
Yeah, it's all defense
I reached out to
witnesses,
Mr.
man.
O'Mara because it was my belief that if I reviewed the material and felt that I could be of no assistance, I would not do anything to hinder the progression for anybody in this case whatsoever. But if
he has a unique perspective on use of force. I guess this guy, he kicked some ass in his day?
Right.
Fuck yeah.
Kicking ass.
He's a private investigator.
Oh, is he? Private Dick?
Dennis Root, private investigator.
Dennis Root, private eye. The defense could wrap up today. And then the jury, I guess, has to get their little briefing from the judge. And who knows? They start deliberating.
Wow.
Well, sheriff's office has that riot plan.
Oh, do we have that?
Yeah, where's the riot
that video?
plan? Because there are people, I was reading a lot of stuff. Like I said yesterday, if you go to Justice for Trayvon, the hashtag on Twitter, you will read some serious shit from people that really want to rip white people apart.
And just so happens, two of my relatives that live in Winter Park, Florida.
Ah, yes.
Which I learned only yesterday is very close to Sanford.
Oh.
Wrote me yesterday asking if they could do their New York visit. They usually come up in the summer,
yeah.
but I'm wondering if they're getting a bit nervous down there.
I bet they are.
So this is the video that they put out?
Yeah. It's like a PSA that the sheriff...
Raise your voice, not your hands is the title of this video.
If you can inspire the youth.
Okay, I'm sure they'll listen to this.
Right.
Raise your voice.
And not your hands.
We need to stay together as one. No cuss, no guns.
Let's give violence a rest, because we can easily end up arrested.
I know your patience will be tested, but law enforcement has your back.
Let's back up and choose not to act up, and deputies are with us, so no need to act tough.
Let it roll off your shoulders. It's water off your back. Don't lack composure, because in one instance
This is an
it could
SNL
be
skit,
over.
right?
So let's make the choice to raise your voice and not your hands.
I'm Sheriff Scott Israel, and law enforcement does have your back.
That's what you want the sheriff using the fucking 13-year-old street vernacular.
Right. Yeah. I'm sheriff, and if you fuck up,
Raise your voice, not your hands. Yeah, that's what I've been seeing on Twitter, by the way.
But translate that. Billy Maru.
Oh, Billy.
He's scared shitless.
It's a biggie.
Please don't riot.
No riots.
Okay.
Not on my watch. Okay, Pookie.
Okay. Oh, that's wow. They're scared down there.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension going down. A lot of tension at my house. Did you see my latest? Facebook, my latest YouTube video?
No, I did not.
Check out my latest YouTube video. It's
What is it?
Well, it's from my security cameras. It's from my security cameras. Let's just say.
Did you?
No.
You didn't catch Big A snooping around?
No, I didn't see Big A snooping all sneakily.
Did Big A film this?
No. It's from my household security.
Make sure Big A knows we're just fucking around with him.
There's no sound, so don't worry. But this was yesterday. Yeah, this was yesterday.
No, you got one of these guys?
Blow it up, full size. There he is.
No.
Look at this. Right up to my palatial manor.
What's he carrying?
He steps up. Exactly. I watched that pretty fucking.
It's a candy guy.
Oh, man. Look at him.
One of the biggest scams going.
Right there on my doorstep.
Candy guy, right to your doorstep.
Well, I did. He was a young black gentleman, probably 17.
Trying to raise money.
Trying to raise a little money for something.
Team.
No,
usually it's for the basketball team.
No, this was to stop bullying. To stop bullying.
What? That means if you give him money, he won't punch you in the face.
It was to stop bullying. So I answered the door and I got my gun on my hip. That's how I roll.
Oh my God.
I just have it on me around the house.
Oh my God.
And
day 24 of the Anthony Cumia trial.
No, not at all.
Did you make sure he saw
hashtag
it?
Anthony Cumia trial.
Did he see it?
It was on. Yes.
Yeah. Anthony has it on his forehead.
Justice for Candy Boy.
Justice.
Oh my God! It's just a matter of time with you.
Candy Boy. No, it's not, because I listened to his little thing. There's presentation. I read
Snickers up.
I read his little thing. And he had a bunch of dumb peanut things in there that I want, but there was a thing of Tootsie Rolls, so I was like, how much?
Oh, you ate?
And he's like,
you bought?
He's like, it's $10.
$10 for what?
It was a big thing of Tootsie Rolls.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, hold on. So I had some singles laying around there, and I gave it to him. When I came back, he goes, so could I ask you what you do for a living? And I'm like, you could ask. And I laughed, and he's just kind of looking at me. And then he goes, no, because I noticed, you got a gun. I'm like, yeah, I have a gun.
Did he bend all the way down to get the money? And went, oops.
Like, hey, no, it was on my hip. I wasn't even covered. I'm in my house. So.
You're allowed to do. I don't know. I don't know all the fucking
on your house and on your property.
So
you're
you can
allowed.
open your door with it.
Oh yeah,
completely
with it on
exposed.
Your hip. That's usually how I roll, as they say. But and then he's like, oh no, I just see that. He goes, I'm interested in that. He goes, what do you got to do? And I said, well, you got to learn about it, be educated, get proficient. I go, there's a lot of licensing and things that you got to go through in New York. If you go to any precinct and pick up paperwork, it'll explain everything you have to do, or go to the website and stuff. He was like, oh, thank you. Probably a year from now, see him come back to my door with the gun in my face going,
thank you.
What happened?
Thank you for the advice.
No, but I'll tell you something. I had no qualms about opening that door because he was well dressed, just a kid in the summer, dressed, no hoodie, nothing suspicious. He was very well spoken.
You didn't know that when you opened the door, though.
Hoodie doesn't have to fucking believe me. I've seen hoodies in August.
He's wearing basketball shorts.
Well, whatever. He was very well spoken, very nice. I had no qualms. Well, I opened the door because I had a gun.
You have a gun.
So, but that does make it a little.
You probably wouldn't open the door if you didn't have the gun.
I wouldn't have. Let me be honest with you, and this is what Jimmy was getting at yesterday, with the fact that Zimmerman probably, because he knew he was armed, was more apt to talk to that or follow him, as they said, or something like that. And there is an element of truth in that, because I probably, and not just because he's black, I'm going to be honest with you, anyone that comes to my door that I don't recognize or isn't in some kind of uniform with a truck outside, the pool guy or something, I'm always going to be a little suspect. And if I open I wouldn't just fling the door open like that. I would be like, yes, can I help you with something? But knowing that you're armed, it gives you a little more, not balls, it gives you a little more peace of mind to know that if there is the rarest chance that it's a problem, at least you can defend yourself. If, he had two friends, let's say, that took up a position by my mailbox.
They were hiding in the Tootsie Roll bag.
In the Tootsie Rolls. But that's happened before. Someone knocks, the door opens, and two other guys come streaming in your house.
You could have just gone up to your balcony and talked to him from there.
Like Hitler.
Yeah.
But less reasonable.
I want to see how...
I'm less reasonable than Hitler, Jimmy. Love it.
All right, well, I'm going to read the comments cold, seeing how people handled your new video, which is, what's the name of the video for the people
It's
out
a
there?
candy guy at my door.
Okay, also...
It's also a song I'm writing.
Yeah.
It'll also be on our Facebook page, right, E-Rock? Okay.
Who almost got shot? The Candy Boy did.
Candy Boy.
First comment, I hope you gave him a Zimmerman.
No.
Next one, he made it to the door, so you must not have been home.
Oh, my God.
Did you take your yard jockey down? LOL.
The racism.
Another Trayvon, question mark. What happened then?
Nothing.
Candy guy is the new youth.
He was very nice.
That's the last we'll see of that guy.
Yeah, how come there's no Candy Guy leaves my house video?
Okay.
I think seeing those legs made a certain radio host realize certain things. And I think Candy Guy got his dick sucked.
Jesus.
I had the single big Tootsie Roll.
I'll give you 10 for the bag and 500 for that one.
God.
He's casing your house. He'll be back later with his homeboys from World Star.
Oh, Jesus.
Did Big A film this?
Yeah. Oh, Snoopy. Here he comes.
Oh, my God.
Nice guy at your door. Then. Right.
It's definitely Anthony yelling, help. Jesus.
It's a candy guy.
I don't get it. What did the guy want?
He wanted to sell candy.
They don't have candy guys in their neighborhoods out there?
I usually
They're all
don't
over
either.
New York.
I don't know what
I
happened.
didn't know that people could just do it for whatever.
Well, there's usually...
I remember like sports, like I used to do it for Little League and stuff.
Nah, man, but it's become
Yeah.
a thing. You can't go to Central Park without...
Well, you can't ride the subway without it.
With the kids coming up and saying,
I know most of them are scams, right?
Basketball camp or
Are most of them
something.
scams?
Yeah. Oh, they're all scams. Not all, but
scamming me. You think?
I don't
Absolutely.
think, well, yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
if he's saying
candy,
if he's saying it's for something, but like the people on the subway, they're like, I'm selling the candy so I can buy more candy, make money, do something with my time. I mean, that's not scamming you.
I would say
They're making
75%
their own
is
money.
they're scamming you.
Yeah. Where's that money
what the cause
going?
is.
Like, I don't know where that money just went.
It's anti-bullying.
Iraq?
When they approach you when you're coming out of a store and you say, for school, what school? For school. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
that's
need anything.
different. Like, if you're saying that it's for school.
He said it was for anti-bullying.
He lied to you.
But what is the money going to do? Buy fucking suits of armor for wimps?
Yeah, exactly. Buy you friends. You pay protection money to someone like Linderman.
Yeah, Linderman.
Yeah, it's fucking Moody. He wanted...
Before this whole, like, candy
Clifford
thing.
Peach came to your door.
Is this your bike?
Before it all blew up like 2 years ago, there was a story in like the Daily News about this candy guy who rode the D train all day and he made like $40,000 a year just selling candy.
But in this neighborhood,
And
it
now
doesn't seem like
everybody does it.
in my neighborhood, it doesn't seem like I bet a lot of the Jewish neighbors really didn't even come to the door. For him.
Well, I just I got a tweet from someone that says they live in your neighborhood, and then he hangs out at the Starbucks as well.
Oh, does he?
Asking for money.
With Starbucks. Jeez, I'm trying to think of what even Starbucks. I don't go to Starbucks, so I don't know.
Fuck Starbucks, overrated.
Yeah.
Overrated for at least 10 years now.
Well, yeah, people saying he's casing the neighborhood. Well, if he was casing the neighborhood, then I guess my house is now off the fucking list.
Your house is off the
My house is
table.
off the list. I'm certain of it at this point. Okay, X that one off. Do not go there. Don't even go to the two houses next to him. Please.
Let's get out of here.
And then my NRA fucking stickers on my alarm signs.
Yeah. I can't leave.
Oh, it's Jimmy
it's
Day.
Wednesday.
I have my advice show.
Yes.
Oh, fuck, we're in Jimmy's time.
Oh, man, what the fuck?
I get paid the same.
What the fuck?
All right, let me just, for the people that would have called for advice at this point, just jerk off. I don't know.
Yeah, what do you want me to tell you? I'm not you.
I don't know. Eat her box.
Eat her ass. Try a meeting.
Yeah, go to a meeting, come home, eat her box. If she won't suck your dick, leave.
Exactly. Fuck her.
I'm going to be listening to that on the way home. I love it. Jimmy's show.
Jimmy's show is next. Don't forget the O&A podcast number 9 is available for you to download and check out. It's the old McDonald's guy who worked at McDonald's for 50 years. We might have fucked with him a little bit. And Tucker Max came in to fucking talk about his book, and I don't know. We didn't believe him, period.
Oh, we didn't.
And then there's a O&A nugget in there.
Ugh.
What's the nugget again?
Gotta leave. You can't leave this. Well, we got Jimmy's advice show. I hate leaving on a nugget.
Why?
Might be a crackhead.
Nugget.
Oh, yeah, might be a crackhead.
Might be a crackhead.
See you tomorrow.
Opie and Anthony have left the building. But Jim Norton is not going anywhere. If you have problems and a phone, it's your lucky day. The Jim Norton Show is next. Jim Norton is a moderately successful comedian, an average author, and a terrible actor. And your chance to speak directly with him has arrived. Call 866-969-1969. The phone lines are open. And the Jim Norton Show starts now.
Hello. The Jim Norton Show. We have about 45 minutes. I'm cranky today. Nothing to do with this. There was just an actor who we were supposed to, we thought we were going to get on the show, Michael Cera, and then we found out his rep passed, thinking it wasn't a good fit. And I'm just fucking on a hatred of publicists binge for the last 10 minutes in my own head. So I apologize if I come off as cunty or cranky, but that's why. You just get sick of it after a while. It's like, how do you want us to treat your talent? You want us to jerk them off when they walk in? We're nice to these people. It's not a good fit. Ugh. All right, first one. Guy from Florida. Hello, Jim from Florida. What's the number? Oh, they gave out the number already. Hi, Jim from Florida. Welcome.
Hey, Jim. I've got a situation I'm going through that I never thought I'd be facing. Been married 25 years. Always been 100% faithful to my wife, and always assumed that she had been. And she told me recently that 5 years ago, she had had an affair with her boss that had lasted about 6 months.
Wow.
It was pretty devastating.
Sure.
And so, of course, I still love my wife, and I believe that she still loves me. Maybe I'd feel different if I'd found out about this on my own without her telling me, or maybe if it had been more recent, maybe I would have, responded differently. But I want to stay with my wife.
Why did she tell you?
Because she found out that he is the same guy who is married, has been having an affair with a younger girl that was working there. And my wife thinks a lot of her, and she felt like the girl, was putting herself in a bad situation because she's thinking this guy's going to leave his wife and marry her, and they're going to have kids and be happy together. And my wife said, "Well," she says, "I felt like I needed to tell her that he had done the same thing with her as far as having the affair."
So wait, let me stop you for 1 second. So your wife has an affair with her boss. I mean, that type of stuff happens. In the implication being that he promised he was going to leave his wife, so she was probably promising him she was going to leave you. It doesn't happen.
I don't think that was the case.
Okay, maybe not. But I think your wife is jealous of this affair that he's having with her. Why would she give a fuck? It's not her business. Like, if she had an affair with the guy, and this guy's doing it with this girl, and now you're your wife, why is she interfering with what he's doing with this other girl, unless she's jealous?
Good question. Well, my dilemma at this point is I'm trying to do everything I can to work this out.
Okay.
And I finally came up with the analogy that at this point in time, I feel like I'm somebody who has been in like a major car accident.
Right.
And I'm in bad shape, and I need extra care to help me recover from this injury.
Sure.
And I'm asking her, you know, please help me with this, you know, be extra special to me, you know, treat me extra nice, you know, give me a little extra in the bedroom to help me through this difficult time. And her response is, well, our marriage has never been like that. Why do you think it should be now? And I'm thinking, well, you know, it's like I'm asking you to help me with this injury, and you're telling me, well, I'm not a nurse. I've never been a nurse. Why do you expect me to be a nurse now?
Well, let me ask you, how long ago did you find out?
It's been just over a month.
I think, and again, I know she's your wife and you love her. My opinion, just from what you're telling me, she's extraordinarily selfish. And the fact is, you shouldn't have to ask for that. If she's confessed an affair to you that you had no idea was happening, she should be doing everything in her power to make you happy right now if she cares about the marriage. And that's just what you do when you fuck up. You know, you're on your best behavior for a while. I don't think you, as the husband who was cheated on, who didn't have an affair, should have to say, hey, can you give me some extra care? I would think that somebody who's remorseful would be offering that just so you don't leave. So, did she break it off?
That's how I think.
Oh, well, I think so. And again, this is just a wild guess, but something tells me she wanted, and I'm not saying this to make you feel worse, something tells me she wanted more with this boss of hers. He didn't leave his wife, and she's bitter and pissed off about it. How did their relationship end, and what was going on with you guys when it happened?
We were kind of having a rough time in our relationship at the time.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it too, I think she's always had a low self-esteem problem, which, I mean, I think she's beautiful. Right. I love her. I think she's sexy, but she does not see it in herself.
Sure.
And I think that, you know, I think they always had a really good working relationship, and they were very friendly. And I think the guy worked that and played on her, and she gave in.
Does she still work there?
Yes.
And do you want her to leave her job?
You know, I really don't have a problem with that, because I really don't feel like there's anything that's going to happen anymore.
Maybe not, but you should be concerned over the fact that she's throwing a major cock block. Like, literally, what she did. Now, I mean, I'm sure maybe you're happy she told you, but I don't think, personally, if the affair is over, and again, some people may disagree with this, I don't think she needed to tell you about it, because it's in the past and it's truly done with. There's no need to hurt you with it, to unburden herself. She has chosen just to cockblock that relationship. She has said that you being hurt by it is less important than her, A, clearing her conscience, and B, cockblocking that relationship. So I think that she is once again putting what is important to you behind other things. And on top of that, she's not fucking your brains out, which is what she should be doing. So you might want to try marriage counseling to get to the bottom of this, because I'm telling you, she doesn't sound as remorseful as I think she should be from what you're saying. And I think that she told you for selfish reasons, because it would have benefited her. It was more important for her to fuck up their relationship than it was for you to live with peace of mind.
And we are actually going to counseling now, and I've been kind of thrown off by that, because the counselor is basically saying, well, we need to try to figure out what was going on in your relationship. Well, not necessarily even that. It's, you know, you were having a strain in your relationship at the time, and we need to figure out how you're going to move on and get past this.
Yeah, I hope the therapist deals. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's like the therapist doesn't, you know, she thinks that, well, I'm just supposed to accept it and just go on without anything else other than the fact that, you know, she's sorry. Let's move on and see, you know, how you guys are going to continue on with your relationship.
Well, I think that you should raise the point to her that it was, she told you for selfish reasons, because she was afraid it would come out once she outed the boss with the girl. So to me, she's just jealous of that relationship. And I would find out really if she still has feelings for this. I don't believe the altruism of, I was just trying to help the other girl. Because if she's that caring about the other girl, Why is she that fucking not giving a shit about what you need to recover from this? If she's that caring, I don't want the other girl to suffer. But meanwhile, my husband, who had no idea I was doing this, is now suffering, and I won't even. And when he asks me for some extra attention and care, I give him this bullshit line about how our marriage was not like that. Think about that, man. Yeah. And again, I could be wrong just from the outside, but I'm going to let you go. I appreciate your call, and what I would suggest to you is just bring that up in therapy if you agree with it.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, brother. Good luck to you, man. Okay, we had Jared in Texas. Said he cheated on his wife, and he felt remorse and wanted to help caller Jim. Yes, hi, Jared.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hello, buddy. I didn't put you guys on together just because people tend to talk over each other and it gets messy.
Yeah, I completely understand. Hey, I 100% agree with what you were telling that previous caller. I cheated on my wife. We actually separated for a couple of months. We've been back together for about 4 to 6 months now, and I have bent over backwards to make amends for what I had done.
Yep.
You know, so anybody that does feel remorse for their actions, they will go above and beyond, whether it's in the bedroom for a man or whether it's in any type of setting for a woman. They will bend over backwards to make you feel comfortable or make amends for it.
Yeah, because again, I think that relationships, cheating is a big one, but I think some people are able to get beyond it, because there are times when people cheat and they're in a relationship where they love their partner and they fuck up. And, you know, look, after being married for 18 years or whatever, she has an affair for 6 months because she's feeling old and fat or whatever. Look, it happens, I guess. And if you as the spouse know it's a one-time thing and the person fucked up and they truly are remorseful, but you know what? You got to kiss ass for a while when you fuck up on that level. So I think it's good that you're kissing her ass, and maybe you're doing the dishes extra. It's like if you're late for work. Well, for the next week, you were late for work, so you just make sure that you're on time every day and you're 5 minutes early, just so you don't have to hear shit. That's the way it is when you cheat on your spouse, I think.
Exactly.
Well, I hope it works out for you, man. And I think you're right, and I think you're handling it right if you're just kind of, just sucking it up and yesing her and, doing what she wants you to do.
Yeah, and we're happier now. I think the effect of this is we're actually happier together because we're more open about everything.
Right.
As far as our feelings. But anyway, all right, thanks a lot, Jimmy.
All right, guy, thanks for the call, man. Good luck. Hi, John in Baltimore. I can never say Baltimore without thinking of Anthony's stepfather, Sal. Baltimore! Hi, John.
Hey, Dan.
What's up, buddy?
All right. Hey, thanks for taking the call, Jim.
Sure, thank you.
Hey, listening to you speak to that last time, it maybe prompted me to want to call because I've got a situation where you said something that really hit home with me, and that was that I've been with my wife for 18 years now, and we went through a period, I'm going to say 5 years ago, where my fault, I became sexually dissatisfied in the relationship, became somewhat promiscuous, and put myself in positions to have done things, but always grabbed myself and never did anything, if you know what I mean. Like I took a dinner with a girl one night, knew I didn't belong there, had a girl texting me one time about, hey, can we get together, and I kind of let it go where, it would, but then I ended up calling it off. And it all culminated with a run with some buddies out to Vegas, and I ended up with a little Latino girl in my bedroom, and she got naked, and then I found out she's a professional, and I told her, look, I can't do this. I did end up still handing her some money just to hang out and chat for a while.
Sure.
And one night, me and my wife were drinking. She knew about this text message, and she said to me, is there anything that I need to know about that we can get through, but I want to know if you've done anything in our relationship? So I told her everything I just told you.
Okay.
And it was probably stupid in a way because years had went by. I got through it. I said, I'm going to be a good family man, a good husband. And I thought that I owed it to her to confide in her that this is what I did. Well, it didn't go well.
Okay.
And for about the next, it's been about 2 years now, she, we've been really struggling on and off to try to work it out. I moved out for a month to give her some space. She asked me to come back, so I did. And then I took the kids on the family vacation and found out the entire weekend I was gone, she had the neighbor in my house fucking him all weekend.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it really didn't go well with me because it was her girlfriend's husband, her best girlfriend's husband.
Wow.
Who had supposedly been calling her, and I knew he was calling her, but he was calling her as a friend to help her get through some stuff. And
right. Never. It's never a friend. You never, as a guy, you're never helping somebody else's wife get through it. Stop.
Yeah, well, I told her that. I said, listen, you're naive. He wants in your pants. And if you want to test him, tell him I'm out of town and to come over and see what he says, and you'll have your answer.
Yeah, well, she knew, by the way, she knew that anyway. She was giving you the company line. She knew what his intentions were. Even if he didn't say it, women always know. Sometimes they block it out, but they're more perceptive than we are to that shit. She absolutely knew it and was selling you the company line. When you said to bring him over, prove it, she already knew the answer.
Well, probably. So, we got that, and then I pulled some phone records off her cell phone and found out they talk on average of about 600 minutes a month. And so I took them to the guy's wife, and I was like, look, we all need to stop this shit so we can move on. And that created a whole big scenario there, of course.
Good, of course.
He happens to be a sports celebrity.
Okay.
And so with that...
Hopefully not Arthur Ashe. Okay, sorry.
So with that said, we've had pretty decent repair efforts without formal counseling.
Okay.
And the only part I'm struggling with is every time things get a little tense again, she looks at me and says, listen, I was a victim, and none of this would have happened if you didn't do what you did. So I did nothing wrong, and it really pisses me off that she won't have accountability. I've taken total accountability.
Yeah.
I'm very remorseful. I will never hurt this person again. It opened my eyes to what you can do to hurt a person. I got very selfish.
You know what it's like? It's like this. It's like she sees a bank robbery, and as the truck is speeding away, a bag of money falls off, and she picks it up and then wants to pretend she didn't know the money was stolen. Look, maybe your actions did finally give her the desire to do that, or the balls to do something she had wanted to do, whatever it is. And maybe you have to take the initial hit on that. However, she has to take responsibility for the fact that she acted. Now, between you and me, I don't know if you fucked these other girls or not. You're saying you didn't. I'll take you at face value. Personally, maybe you did do something. Maybe you did. Whatever. Whatever the answer is, it is. But you know that she was actually fucking your neighbor, which is a tremendously personal offense. So she has to own up to that. I would suggest counseling. I thank you for the call, man. We have to let you go because we have a few callers, but I do appreciate your call. And I think she has to own up to that because that's a serious offense. If she had just flirted with the neighbor or went out for drinks with him and talked to him and maybe suggested something inappropriate and then come home, she fucked him all weekend while you were away, knowing that's what was going to happen. So that's a really serious offense. And she did it consciously. She was not victimized into doing that. Again, maybe you started that ball rolling, so you can't just dump her for it. But if you guys are reconciling, she can't play fucking... What they say in Goodfellas? Don't give me that Babe in the Woods routine, Karen. I heard you on the phone. You were talking about cocaine. She can't give you the Babe in the Woods routine. It's bullshit. Yes, hi, Mark in Dallas.
How's it going?
Good, buddy. Issues with your mom. What's going on?
Well, I'm taking college online, and she's helping me with my do the work and stuff. And she's calling like every 5 minutes, and just calling for no reason, and then we're fighting, and then so now I only talk to her once a day, and now she's upset because I don't answer my phone anymore. So I don't know how to.
It's a codependent relationship, kind of. You guys are. It's weird. Is your dad alive?
Yeah, he's 70.
Okay, so she just kind of looks at you as a friend, or are you the only child, the oldest? What's your deal with your mom?
I have. I'm 31, and I have a brother in Austin, and we just don't get along very well. I told her I'd pay her for the doing the work for school, but
why is your mom help? Excuse my interruption. Why at 31 is your mom helping you with schoolwork?
I have learning disabilities.
Okay.
It's hard but it's writing the papers. It's hard for me to do all that. I should be doing it myself. I know.
Oh, no, but if you have a legitimate learning disability and she's helping you, but just make sure that you're not using the fact that you have a learning disability to shirk work that you could be doing. You know, just check your own motives. Only you know that. I don't know the answer to that. But make sure that you're not saying to yourself, I have a learning disability, and this is just something you don't want to do as opposed to something you can't do.
Like using it as a crutch, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think there's a line with stuff like that where it's legitimately you need help and legitimately it's a crutch, you know, and only you know the answer to that.
Yeah, that's pretty, you know, you're right. I should do it myself.
Yeah, because your mom, dude, at your age, your mom, I think it's good you have a relationship with your mother, and my mom is probably listening to this call saying, God, I wish my son would say that, you know, because I don't talk to her that often, or as often as I should, but there's a balance with it. If your mother's calling you every 5 minutes and she's very needy, and she's giving you a lot of shit, that's not, I don't think, an appropriate relationship when you're 31 years old. Do you have a girlfriend?
No, I look at pornography.
Well, welcome to the club. That could also be a blocker to your happiness. The fact that are you addicted to porn?
No, I'd rather look at porn than spend money. It's cheaper. What's better, spending money or just looking at porn?
You know, dude, honestly, I say that to myself, but it's to justify my addiction. And again, I'm not saying you're addicted. I'm telling you why I do it. There's a line between that too. It's like anything else. Yeah, like that makes sense on paper. Like, you know, why spend the money on a dinner date when you could just jerk off onto your feet? But the reality is a nice dinner with somebody is a human interaction, and it's a real experience, as opposed to me alone in front of a screen, just kind of having no human interaction. So the dinner is not always a bad deal. Even if you don't get to fuck, you have a real experience with somebody. So just again, I always find just check your motives on that and make sure you're not justifying addictive behavior.
Okay.
But,
all right. Well, thank you for talking.
Thank you, Mark, and good luck, buddy. And I would suggest with your mom, look, maybe you have to have a talk with her, or maybe if you don't have that kind of relationship, just keep not answering the phone, because I think that's way too much for her to be calling you, and you're a grown-up, and do the work that you can do, legitimately can do. Don't allow her to use your learning disability as a way to over-mother you, because sometimes moms want to do that, too. She may tell you, you know, you need my help on this, because it gives her a purpose. Oh, you got it? All right. Well, thank you, Mark. I'm talking to just me. I'm looking at E-Rock, who also has learning disabilities. So this was perfect. Let's see. Steve in Oklahoma, abused when you were younger? Hi, Steve.
Hey, Jim. What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, man. When I was about 17, I was in a band with a guy who was about 30, 32, 33, okay. And I think he had his own issues, but he would accuse me of doing shit accuse me of hitting on him when I wasn't.
Okay.
I would get up and walk by him to go to bed or whatever, say, I'm going to bed, dude, later. And I'd walk by and he'd say, whoa, dude, I'm not fucking gay, man. And like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
He's like, dude, just. So he really fucking did a number on my fucking head, dude. And,
well, wait a minute. You guys were in the band together?
Yeah.
Okay. And, he was accusing you of, now, how old were you when you were abused?
Well, when I was, this, and I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but this went on for a while. Abuse might be a strong word, but fucked around in my head. I let him in my head for about 2 years with this.
That guy?
Yeah.
Did he sexually abuse you?
No, he didn't. He didn't physically, sexually abuse me.
Have you ever been physically sexually abused?
No, I have not.
Okay, so what happened was this guy may have been either A, getting sexual signals you didn't realize you were sending, or B, completely imagining normal things you were saying as being sexual signals that you were not sending. So it sounds like it's on him. Why would you allow that to affect you? Or do you have any homosexual desires or feelings deep down? Have you ever jerked off thinking about it?
No, I haven't. I could never be in a relationship with a guy. I'm not attracted to men. I'm attracted to women.
But, what's the but? There's a but there. Because I'm not saying being in a relationship. I'm saying when no one jerks off thinking about a relationship. You know, no one's ever jerked off thinking about, ooh, I can't wait to drive to the beach and listen to her talk. You know, you jerk off thinking about. So have you had And again, I don't know who you are. I don't know you. Have you had homosexual fantasies?
I have.
Okay, fair enough. It happens. So maybe...
But it's not something I want in my life, you know what I mean?
Sure, of course. A lot of people... There's women that have rape fantasies, and they have no desire to be raped in real life. It's just sometimes, your mind goes to all these weird places. So you've had these homosexual fantasies. Maybe this guy has had the same ones, or maybe he's bisexual, and was picking up on something you didn't realize you were... Did you have any kind of an attraction for him at all?
No.
None whatsoever?
No.
Okay. So maybe he just picked up on something, or maybe he was a weird guy, and coincidentally, you've had these fantasies about other people, so now him being a weird guy, instead of you just going, oh, he's a paranoid fuck, he's now made you paranoid, like, oh my God, these secret things I've thought are somehow leaking out of my fucking pores.
That's exactly, you nailed it, dude.
Yeah. Well, again, I wouldn't worry about it to the extent you don't sound like a gay male. Have you ever had a homosexual encounter even in childhood?
In childhood, yes.
Okay.
When we were 13, 14, a couple of, friends, but just because we were fucking horny and wanted to get off, it had no, you know what I mean?
Of course, I understand. I definitely understand, and it's a part of development, normal development in a lot of people.
Yeah, and from being young all the way up to when I was 17, when all this happened, I had never once had a second thought about it, and never once had a homosexual thought.
So are you at this point, because this guy's not in your life anymore, right?
No.
So he's not important. He's just some fucking guy. The question is, are you? It sounds to me like I'm
bringing it into relationships I have now.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
What do you mean? That are you gay, or do they think you're gay?
Right.
Well, maybe. Do you ever find yourself while you're fucking a girl needing to fantasize about something else?
No.
Okay.
No,
so
I love women, man, and that's never. When I've been in relationships, I just recently got out of one. That's how I kind of know I'm not, because I absolutely, I've had my heart fucking ripped out by women. My first, growing up, my first interactions and all that and everything, there's no way that I would ever, being completely honest with myself, ever
be in love with a man or in a relationship. I know, and I believe you. Well, let me ask you a question, a weird question, and then tell me honestly, because the answer doesn't matter. When is the last time you were jerked off thinking about something that would be considered homosexual?
Probably, to be honest with you, probably about a year ago. And what happens is I'm so bored that I've got to think of the craziest shit, and I find myself, the reason why I stopped is because I didn't like it.
Also, there's also a weird guilt, I'm sure, that comes with it. A weird, oh my God, what is this telling me?
Sure.
I don't know your sexuality. It sounds to me like there is a part of you that is questioning it. Maybe you're bisexual. Maybe it's normal for heterosexual males to occasionally think about, I don't know. Again, I'm not a psychologist, but it sounds to me like if you have healthy relationships with women, you're certainly not a gay male. It doesn't sound to me like you are. Yeah. Or maybe you've had a couple of experiences in your life, and I wouldn't worry about it. Like, you're worrying about semantics. You are who you are. It's silly because you are who you are. You shouldn't, there's nothing, you're not in front of a jury right now having to come up with the right answer, or you're doomed to X, or you're doomed to Y. Don't worry about all the bullshit semantics that go with it. If you're happy and your relationships are pretty good and you're enjoying women, and like when you're enjoying a woman, you're not like, oh God, I need a cock. Well, then I wouldn't think that you're gay. And if it turns out you're bisexual, then just go with that in your own mind. Don't worry about it, dude. I think you're much more normal than you think. No one's running around going, oh, he's a fruit cup. I wouldn't worry about it. Just enjoy being who you are. You have more options when you jerk off. Lucky you. All right?
Right on, Jim. Thanks, man.
God, good luck, Steve. Boy, is he doomed. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, buddy. Let's see here. But I'm telling you, if what we jerked off to identifies who we are, wow, am I in a heap of trouble. I am an occasional horse fuck a woman lover. kidding. All right, let's get into it's not. Nah, that's one I could never get into. Dog, yeah, maybe because they're
You
cute.
can watch a beheading, but you can't watch that.
I don't jerk off to a beheading.
No, I know, but I mean...
Sometimes I want to jerk off to just the fun they appear to be having. Like, God, that seems like a party. All right, let's go to Tom. Getting divorced, a couple of girlfriends since his wife has a boyfriend, and he realized the relationship wasn't so bad. So what to do now? Thank you. Excellent phone screening, by the way. That's a lot of information. Tom in Minnesota. Hi, Tom.
Hey there, Jim. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to you.
Of course it is. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Hey, real quick rundown. About 5 years ago, we started having all kinds of problems. Financially, she is a total nightmare. She has a big problem with paying bills and everything else. Put a major stress upon our relationship. About a year ago, we decided basically about a year and a half ago that we were going to start working towards a divorce.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, I met a girl. I hope I'm not going to offend you, but just a using cunt.
Oh, wow. That's very offensive. Oh, no.
Well,
I'm kidding.
But, no, I apologize.
I'm offended. I'm offended when they don't refer to a woman as that. Go ahead.
Well, she is, and she basically took me for about $2,000. Still owes me fucking money.
Right. Okay. So bad situation. Yeah.
Bad situation. But as me and my ex, in the last 6 months, Jim, we are getting along better than we did 16 years ago. I mean, we are having more fun together and everything else. We're still going to go through with the divorce, but she has a boyfriend now, and they haven't fucked her or anything, and I know that for a fact. He's a really nice guy. And I told her, I said, why don't we get back together and we just be boyfriend, girlfriend? Yeah, we're not married, no paperwork, which I'm cool with that, but everything else kind of go back to the same, and I'll take care of my own bills, you take care of yours. Well, obviously having fun. And now she told me, she goes, I'm so torn apart right now. She goes, because yes, we are having so much fun, and I felt like the way she was putting it was like I was putting pressure upon her, even though I might have kind of was a little bit.
Maybe let me just jump in. Maybe you are putting pressure. Maybe part of the fun for both of you is that there's no longer that ceiling there, and you can just enjoy each other. And by wanting to define it as something at this point, maybe that's what's freaking her out a little bit. Like, if you guys are both having fun and you're both agreeing to go through with the divorce, and the status quo is okay, why not just enjoy the status quo?
Right, and we got a 12-year-old daughter that just actually, I mean, we were fighting a lot years ago, and she even, Haley, I mean, she's just a doll.
Sure.
She even told me and her mom both. She says, you two are fun to be around now. Well, yeah, we're not yelling at each other and arguing.
Right.
They just kind of let it go the way it is. I mean, she told me I can date, and it's kind of like, I don't want to, but I mean, obviously you are, but we still get together and have a good time. So just kind of keep it the way it is, or what do you think?
It's one of those things where, and I always preface this with I've never been married, so I speak not from experience on this, which I think experiential advice is always the best because people have lived through it. But I would suggest if you're both happy doing this, and if you're okay with it, and you're getting divorced anyway, and you both know you're getting divorced, and the kid is happier, then why put a label on it? Why not just continue down this road? And if it gets to be too painful for you, where like, look, I can't not have a title on this because I feel like it's spiraling away from me, then you may have to make a decision to just leave it completely and not see her and torture yourself. But if you're both enjoying it and you're both okay with it, maybe you can both just kind of get to know each other again, as corny as that sounds, free of the constraints of marriage that you obviously both feel, and see where it goes from there. As long as it's not too painful for either one of you. But if you're both getting along better and feeling less pressure and enjoying it better, and the kid notices, if all these things are true, it sounds to me like I would just continue down this road. And if you see it getting to be a problem, then address it.
Okay, and the other thing, too, is I look forward to, I was just went through Vegas. I seen your big smiling face up on a billboard there. I didn't get the date, though, but we were going to...
Oh, I'm not in Vegas for any time soon. I have no Vegas dates coming up. I don't know what I was on the billboard for.
Huh? Yeah, because you and a bunch of other comedians, not all together, but one at a, you had you and then they had somebody else.
Oh, that might have been a while ago when me and David Tell did the MGM. Thank you very much for the call, buddy. I appreciate it. Good luck, my friend. Let's see. Buddy in Oklahoma, 13 steps number instead of 12. I don't know what you're saying, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, buddy, 13 steppers. I heard about this. It's people who prey on a new girl in the program.
You're talking about people. Yeah, people. Let me just explain. In 12-step recovery, there's something called 13th stepping. It's when you fuck newer members, people who typically have less than a year. It's when you're predatory about fucking a new member of the program.
Exactly.
Yes.
So here's my issue. My wife went into treatment, a 30-day treatment, a while back. When she came out of treatment, of course, when she came out of treatment, she had all his phone numbers in her phone.
Okay, she had guys' numbers in her phone. Okay.
So I trip out, and I'm like, who are these dudes? What's this? What's that? So a few of them start calling her, and they're like, hey, are you going to be at the meeting tonight? I was just wondering. I'm hoping you're going to be there. And so...
Were they new guys? Let me ask you, were they guys that she met in the rehab?
Yes.
Okay, so let me explain. I wouldn't even consider that 13-stepping, because chances are they're as fucked up as she is when you're new. Like, so, again, it's inappropriate, and they usually suggest in 12-step recovery, men with the men and women with the women, because, again, that sexual tension is not there. I guess unless you're gay, whatever, you know, whatever the sexual dynamics wouldn't be. But 13-stepping, typically, as I've understood it, is when somebody with a little bit of time preys on somebody. I think that when two people with 30 days are talking, it's not considered as predatory, but it's still not advised. So I think what they're doing is inappropriate, but I wouldn't necessarily consider it 13-stepping, because they're all kind of in the same we're fucked up boat.
Right. If you were in my shoes, though, wouldn't you try to put a halt?
Absolutely. Yes, I would. But again, there's a balance with it, because there are legitimate friendships that develop in recovery between men and women, because you do have a common bond. So again, you want to be careful with it, but motives are everything, and chances are your wife's motives are probably a little bit better than the guy's motives. That's usually the way it is with men and women. But just have her be. Does she have a female sponsor? I'm rushing because we have to wrap up. Does she have a female sponsor?
She does. And real quick, let me get this out.
Sure.
My feelings, and this is probably a little bit selfish because I'm trying to protect her and my family, is I don't give a fuck if that guy needs her help. I don't care if he ODs right now, tonight or yesterday. My issue is let's get her well and treat her. And if he's having a problem and needs her, then fuck him. I don't care about him. It's her I'm trying to protect.
But she has to work her recovery. And let me ask you a question real quick before we go. Have you ever been to like an Al-Anon or a Nar-Anon or one of those programs that is specifically for the spouses and loved ones of the addict and of the alcoholic? I would suggest
I've only had about 2 hours of that.
I would try that again and talk to people who are in your boat, because there are people who are married, who have spouses who are doing exactly the same thing and have done exactly the same thing. And I think that they would be able to help you through their own experience. So I would suggest doing that. I would suggest going to one of those meetings and talking to some people who are in the exact same boat you are, okay?
All right, brother. I'll let you go. You're crazy. I love you.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, buddy. And I apologize to anybody who we didn't get to. Rob, how did you start comedy? God inspired me. I went on stage in a bar. In a relationship, girlfriend woke up one day and ended it. Don't know why. I don't know either, my friend. But, she probably wanted to end it before that, unless, she had a fucking divine inspiration. Addicted to happy ending massage parlors. That's Jim in the studio. No, I'm kidding. That was Brian in Long Island. I understand it. Try not to do it, but it's really hard. And the last but not least, Brian wants to know, should he move back to California, which he hates, for his kids, or stay? Again, I don't have kids, but if I did, I would suggest probably doing what's best for the children as opposed to what's best for yourself. That's just a brief take. Thank you, the great Ron Bennington and the sweet Fez Whatley. Up next. See you next week.
Jim Norton is now done dealing with your bullshit. He'll be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. But you can listen to episodes of The Jim Norton Show whenever you want. Go to SiriusXM.com/on-demand for details.